Let me see if we open on this other end. I think we live, babe. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, it says we live. All right. Y'all give me justice. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. We're gonna get started in just a second. You live. All right. It's behind a little bit. Can you hear me, Sutek? Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, say something, baby, too.
Hey.
Can y'all hear my wife? Say something else.
Hey.
Can y'all hear my wife? Hold on. We can hear you. Okay. Y'all give me just a second. We finna get started. Let me pause this. Damn. I'm gonna turn the volume down. Hold on. What up, brother man?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Not much, man. Just went live.
You just went live?
Yeah, I just went live. Just went live.
What was the topic?
You know, the conversation with my wife, hesitancy about vaccines.
It's over or you still live?
No. I just went live.
Oh shit, man. I'll holler at you later.
All right, y'all. We finna get started. Let me mute my mic over here. All right. Skill thing. All right, man. First, damn. I want to say, y'all, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get it right over here. Be patient with me just 1 second. We're gonna get started. All right, man. I'm gonna play some music first, man, and then we'll get started, man. I don't know, inbox some people. Facebook is down right now, y'all. So inbox some people, you know what I'm saying, in a Facebook messenger and let them know we live. Like I said, this is a conversation with my wife. It's a hesitancy about getting the vaccine. So I'm gonna play some music. And I guess y'all can't share the show. Yeah, I'm asking to put it in the Facebook Messenger, Sutek. Everybody, Facebook Messenger is working. So put them in a few people Facebook Messenger that you will share to on Facebook. So just put them in the Facebook Messenger, and just tell people about the show. Like I said, I'm gonna play some music and we'll come right back, man, and we'll get it started. This show is Fortune Believes songs again, Foolish.
Yeah. It's so real. So real. Yeah. I'm subhuman. What kind of woman wanna love a mutant? Resort to me after these thugs use them. My bedroom is a strange ruin. Last time I hit a chick was King Drive and she ain't done suing. I'm done doing wasted years, I'm ruined. I attempt to shoot and score, but it's my destiny to be a troubadour. A true whore, I'm like a Labrador. Retriever receiving the red flag matador. I'm mad at the world. I once portrayed I was a savage to bedazzle a girl. Stiletto heels and sew-ins I would lavish her. Told me I was off trying to romance her, I should ravish her. World around, left me for real niggas to word around. World renowned, what mirrors reveal, I admit. I'll always be a coward and I ain't worth shit. Roses I read, the double Glock between my eyes blue. It's imminent, I'm too fucking effeminate, I'm a fool.
I've always put my pride aside, I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise, I simply play it cool. I'm foolish, yeah. I'm
so self-conscious with no self-conscious. It's times I went too far and I got some mental scarring. I had this melanated girl, but hesitated to be thorough. My time went in the rounds, I'm trying to elevate the world. Mutual attraction, but lacking physically in figure. Contrast to the ass being the famous rapper. Get you is brewing, other women alluring. And now the more we sex, you feel neglected. Our connections getting ruined. You would fight for my love while I chase bitches that don't love me. You even cook for me, but she got a better look for me. You spend your racks up on me, hit niggas with the ratchet for me, just for us to be in matrimony. But friend zone it, the brother who would love to serve you, cause I never deserved you. So neither us is using virtue. Can't you see we in a circle? Each of us are cruel. For them I'm a fool, for me you a fool. Betty asking too.
I've always put my pride aside. I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise. I simply play it cool. I'm foolish. I'm foolish.
My troubled ass browsing, subsidized housing. This bubbled ad lousy shit to leave your ad gouging. I'd rather be fad doused than hear these verbal roundhouses. Y'all raising your mouths loud. Can't you see your child's rousing? My look upon lounging. He should bestow my masculinity. And up there slept and crept disaster enemies. Look at myself doubting all these passive tendencies. I had passive piety, but cash is deity. Niggas went from dope sack selling to cul-de-sac dwelling. I kept the 9 to 5, wept and wide, but why? My stomach large and my face hardened. Gone is my hopes. Been 4 years on car notes, my wage garnished. I still keep feeling like I ain't shit. Even if I had a fucking facelift, it's self-hatred. To eat a 9mm told me to pill a hater. To kill the day to live like told me Philippator.
I've always put my pride aside. I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise. I simply play it cool. I'm foolish. I'm foolish.
Cause I'm foolish.
All right, give it up for my homeboy, Fortune Believe. All right, man. Peace and Black African Power. Welcome back to Kofi Piesie Research Team. With Kofi Piesie and Mrs. Kofi Piesie. This is the first time my wife is on camera. So y'all please be gentle with my wife and don't come after my wife. We're gonna definitely be taking some phone calls. Hopefully it'll be working on our end. For some reason, Google, my Google phone number, it was tripping a while ago, but maybe when y'all call in, it won't be tripping because we're gonna take some phone calls as well. But again, the name of the show, well, first again, like I said, Peace and Black African Power, ETM Hotel, which means bring forth peace. Majuba Ibe Gungun, Majuba Ibe Gungun, Majuba Ibe Lakba, Majuba Ibe Lakba, Egungun Kiki Egungun, Majuba Egungun Kiki Egungun. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. I also want to stand honor and praises to the true and living elders, according to an African perspective and from an African world view. Peace to everybody that's in the chat. Sister Benita, shout out to you. Shout out to Sister Nisha, Brother Robert Rand, Brother Mathis, Brother Corey, Concrete Corey, Marlo, H, my brother Sutek, Okandi Uyane Olawa, Infinite Minds, Rock City, New York. That's one guy. And anybody else that may be looking that may not be in the track. Oh, yeah, Concrete, the atheist. Chauncey Moore, peace, 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 peace. Just trying to recognize. And my brother, Any Harriet, Sean California. If your nerves cause your wife is on. Yeah, I'm a little nervous because my wife is on, man. I don't know how they go. I just hope everybody receive my wife well today. She's not in this well, she wasn't in the so-called conscious community. She's not in what we call it now, the new Independent African Academy. So yeah, like I say, y'all just be gentle with my wife. She got some concerns today. And again, the name of the show is Hesitancy about getting vaccinated. So this is a live conversation that I'm gonna be having with my wife, but also it's an educational purpose too, also as well, because I know after I put this up, it's a lot of other people that can relate to what I'm going through. And where your spouse or your significant other, one is vaccinated and the other one is not vaccinated. So it's quite a few people that I found out after I said I was going to do the show that said, well, hey, they're going to get their families. And if you know anybody, call them and tell them about the show too, man, because like this is going to be a learning show. This is a conversation for the family. If call somebody or Facebook message to somebody that you think that may appreciate the conversation that that I'm about to have with my wife and y'all about to have with my wife as well, because again, I'm vaccinated. I have the Moderna, and my wife has the no Moderna. Look at her. She's not vaccinated. So maybe, y'all can be able to elaborate, and in the chats, or even maybe call in if my Google phone is working. We was trying to get it straight a while ago, but I'll give the number out in a little bit, So before I get started here, I always have to do this before I get started. Y'all just be patient, just certain things that I have to get out before we get started. And again, that is this is the new Independent African Academy. I may not be able to read that because it's over here. And I can't reach the camera over here. I can't reach the camera over here. But I'm not going to even go. I'm going to try to go through them and never talk down on another NI member in the public. No pseudoisms. I ain't even finna read it because I'm too far from my laptop right now, but these are some of the mandates, codes of conducts, and what's the name? And anybody that want those mandates, codes of conducts, if you want to be a part of the new Independent African Academy, let me know and I'll email you the PDF. And if you want to add on, you can add on. You can add on. Real quick. Also, before we get started, I have to throw this out here too. Please go and get my book, Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo. If you want to learn about the different elements that makes up what y'all call African spirituality and African traditions, we're calling it Kimoyo. I have a contention with the word African spirituality and a contention with the word African traditional religion. If you get the book, you will look in the chapter. I deal with that in one of the chapters and explain why. Also, so go check it's on Same Tree, Different Branch. Also, the team, Kofi Piesie, our research team, we just released a book entitled Spearmaster. The name was inspired by the Dinka people in the South Sudan. They have their elders and certain people who are the spearmasters, and they use the spear within everything. So if you want to learn about the heroes in the Sudan, you want to learn about the coach in the South Sudan, you want to learn about the different wars, you want to learn about other different things in there, this is the book for you. Again, the Spearmaster Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 4. And if you don't have Sean, go ahead. I know you don't have it, but go pre-order. Go pre-order Sean's What SARS COVID Taught Me. And I'm actually, and that's a good segue because we're going to be talking about SARS COVID too. And I'm actually going to probably read something from out of his book so you can know exactly what's in the book. I read the book from front to back, so I'm telling you it is a good book. I was forward enough, the privilege to get the book and edit the book and read it as I was editing, man. So it's a nice piece of work. Let me go back to my camera here. All right, so we're going to get started. First, before we get into conversation, like I said, I wanted to make it a kind of a learning process. So I want to give some statistics. And the reason for this show is like I said, it's a lot of people in my situation where their significant others is not married, where the woman may be vaccinated and the man may not be vaccinated, or the man may be vaccinated and the woman may not be vaccinated. And like I said, after I said I was going to do the show, so a few other people said, man, I need to watch that, man. I understand what you're talking about. So they, they can relate to what I'm talking about. So, and a lot of times our wives or our significant others, they won't listen to us, but they may listen to someone else, so we just gonna have a conversation between each other and let y'all have a conversation with us as well. And I'm doing the show is because my wife don't know that I'm scared for her. She may not know that, but I'm scared for my wife. My wife stays sick a lot. So, and it was I done had COVID before. And she said I gave her COVID. So she had COVID. So she had brain fog. And brain fog is the symptoms for brain fog is the virus, but the virus or the disease reaches the brain, and the symptoms, it causes a loss of memory, which she's still suffering from that. Her mind is bad. Loss of taste, and a loss of smell. So she had brain fog. So that was some of her symptoms when she had COVID back in February. My symptoms was a little bit more severe where I was down, some of the normal symptoms. Yeah, long haul. Yeah. So so she's still having some of those symptoms. And long haul is people that may have symptoms, COVID symptoms for months, for weeks, up to months at a time. So I think, man, we just, we need to have this conversation because somebody else may feel the same way. They may be scared of their significant other, or they may be scared of their children. They vaccinated and they're not vaccinated. And a lot of times the information is coming from TikTok. It is coming from Facebook, which is a lot of misinformation. So I got a lot of notes, but I got a few list slides on my scenes that I'm actually going to show because I want to show some of the stats. I got the sources where I got my sources, and we'll do with that first. And then we'll have a conversation with my wife. She'll voice some of her concerns. And shout out to Unc, because Unc called me about an hour ago, and he actually called and he didn't want to talk to me. He wanted to talk to my wife, and he talked to my wife, and he was trying to explain some stuff to my wife in a simpler form before we actually went live and got on. So shout out to brother Unc, man. And I love that brother because he's not a selfish person. And in this community that we call the New Independent African Academy, one of the mandates is no selfless acts. So this brother is definitely not selfish, man. He said he thought about it last night. It was on his mind. So he wanted to have a conversation with my wife actually before we go live, because he's always concerned about us because Unc's my family. And, and he wanted to, just check up on me and then, talk to my wife before she actually went live and deal with the conversation and deal with the people in the chat. But I know over here, the people in the chat is going to be polite. People are going to respect my wife as well, even if you disagree or you're not understanding where she's coming from, because she's not an anti-vaxxer. She's trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to figure it out. So she's hesitant about getting the vaccine. She's not saying no, and she's not saying yes. But like I say, most women, won't listen to, their husband or their man on certain things they will, and certain things that they won't listen to. And sometimes and once they have a conversation with somebody else, they may, okay, I didn't think about it like that, or I didn't consider it, even though you might have already told them. But, they always want thinking you trying to tell them what to do. I would mine do. I ain't going to say, when my wife is always thinking I'm trying to tell her what to do. Baby, you want to say something? You want to just speak to the wife? Y'all say, just say something else so they can make sure your mic is clear.
How y'all doing?
Can y'all hear vocals coming through the mic? Let me know. I guess so. So I'm trying to wait because can somebody tell me, did y'all hear my wife say anything? And vice versa, brother Kofi. I know it. I know it. The same thing too. I be thinking she be trying to control me. Y'all controlling. Nisha said she can hear you. Yeah, y'all controlling. All right. I'm gonna first before we get into conversation, like I said, I want to make this educational too. So I'm gonna go to my scene board real quick, and I'm gonna pull up something. I may have to pull. Let me see how I'm gonna do it because I am kind of away from the computer. All right, I'm gonna pull it up right here. All right, I'm gonna have to move this out the way I can see that. That's pretty clear. That is not what I want to pull up. Live conversation questions. Well, yeah, we're gonna deal with this first. Let me move this. I'm gonna move this down here. I want to explain something too, because we're talking about TikTok, right? We're talking about a lot of our people are getting information from TikTok. They're getting information from Facebook, right? They're reading posts on Facebook. They're looking at videos on TikTok, and this is where they are actually getting their information from. And the people is not showing how they can't explain what they are actually talking about. They can't show the data. So they're not using scientific methods. So I want to talk about a scientific method real quick. What is a scientific method? Scientific methods is a question. What we doing, why are we doing this experiment? What questions are you trying to answer? Research, what do you already know? What do you need to find out? Hypothesis, what do you think will happen? Make an educated guess about what will happen. Experiment, how can you test if your hypothesis is correct? What material do you need? What will you do? Analysis, what did you do? What actually happened? Record your data and observation. What did you learn? What can you conclude from your results? So this is what I'm talking about with the data. You know what I'm saying? Show us the data. What method did you use to come up with your conclusion? And a lot of these people are just talking, and when you talk, who calling me? Oh, he might be talking. Who you calling, Sean? My phone had it wrong. He might be talking to somebody else. But this is what I'm talking about. So we have to be scientific. We have to use a scientific method. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm asking people where the data, because I had these drag outs with my wife and my stepdaughter at times, you know, show me the data. You know, how these people come up with their conclusion. So I first want to start off with a scientific method and what a scientific method actually look like. Now let's go to, hold on, let me take this off of here. Let's go to SARS. SARS-CoV emerged in November of 2012. Sean is calling me live on the earth. Hold on one second, y'all. Hello?
While you were live, because I want you to relax a little bit, because what you're saying is making a lot of sense. But remember, we got some people that don't understand the scientific method, and they don't understand how to come to an honest conclusion based on the data or the collection of data that actually presents that. So I figured if I called you, then it'll kick out all your little nervousness and you be ready to fight, because we can do that too.
All right. No doubt. Y'all hear Brother Sean on the mic. I mean on the line. I appreciate it, man. I'm so nervous. I'm trying to, you know, when I get nervous, I go to talking fast and trying to rush through.
You start sounding like Twister. You from Mississippi. You not from Chicago. You not Bone Thugs and Harmony or none of that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you calling in, man.
So look. You still on the scientific method, right?
Yeah, I went to the SARS. I'm on the SARS now. SARS-CoV.
Okay. So before, I think what you're about to say, you're about to talk about the coronavirus family. So you're about to talk about SARS-CoV-1, MERS,
right?
And then you're going to get into SARS-CoV-2, which right. I think all of that is essential. But I just want to add this real quick. explain to the people first what a virus is.
I'm already gonna get to it. I'm actually gonna read something from out of your book. I'm gonna read something from out of your book dealing with the viruses, because I definitely want to explain what a virus is. So I'll be reading something from I think page 4.
Allowing us to comment now, but I don't know if we can post. But I tried to post and it wouldn't let me post.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see if we could, get it shared, because people are now using Facebook.
Okay.
People are like commenting and stuff like that now, but I haven't seen a post.
Okay. Yeah, because it's been tripping. It's been down all day.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Right there, Kofi. Let me put Kofi. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Go ahead. Don't let me break your bill.
All right. So yeah, that was Sean right there. That was any Harriet Sean California. They called in. He got my personal number. I will see how that work with my other number. I got a number that you can call in from my machine. But SARS-CoV emerged in when I got it. I got it. Excuse me. It's supposed to be 2002. I got 2012 up here, but it's SARS-CoV emerged in November of 2002. It disappeared in 2014, and it was transmitted by civic. I can't pronounce that type of animal, but we know most of the viruses transmitted or passed from an animal to a human. And then we have MERS-CoV emerged in 2012 in the Middle East, and we know it was transmitted from the camels. I'm thinking maybe it transmitted from, baby, why you ain't got your phone on? Maybe it transmitted from them drinking camel milk, because they do drink camel milk over there in the Middle East. Then you have SARS-CoV-2, which emerged in December of 2019, and it spread it in late January to other places. And then in March, it became a pandemic. It became a pandemic across the world, where it affected the entire world. So these are some of the families of COVID. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get off it. All right, it's let me do it. Now, the last U.S. data of COVID-19 total deaths, y'all, is 675,722. Fully vaccinated is 55%. This is coming from the Johns Hopkins right here. This is the Coronavirus Resource Center. So 600, y'all, and 75,722 people have died in the U.S. from COVID-19. And again, COVID is the disease. Coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2 is the virus, which COVID-19 is the disease. Let's go to the next one. Hold on. I got them all out of order, y'all. Damn. Let's see. I don't want that one. I want that. All right. Hold on, y'all. This thing here. All right, there you go. Adult COVID-19 hospitalization. Unvaccinated people with the vast majority. You have unvaccinated 87%. And again, this is the adult COVID-19 hospitalization, the unvaccinated people in the vast majority. So there's 87% of people that has been hospitalized who has been unvaccinated. Look at the numbers. Now you have vaccinated less than 14 days before a positive test is 5.8. Let me see, man. I'm trying to move. I got all this stuff in here. I got my control center. You have partially vaccinated 5.7%, fully vaccinated 4.0%. So the numbers is high of people being hospitalized, being unvaccinated. Now you may see partially vaccinated on here. Somebody may have got one shot, or you may see, or you have, let's just deal with this. You have vaccinated less than 14 days before a positive test, partially vaccinated, someone who may have have probably got the first shot but haven't received the second shot yet. Then you have fully vaccinated where you have got both shots, and I think it's 14 days after the second shot you are considered fully vaccinated. But why you say it has 4.0% of people being hospitalized, why it doesn't have 0.0%? That's some of the people concerned. We never said that being vaccinated will stop you from getting the coronavirus. COVID-19. It will your percentage will be less of you getting the disease, and your symptoms will be it wouldn't be severe. So you have with the Moderna, I have the Moderna. I got vaccinated and got the Moderna. The Moderna is 94.1% is an effective rate. I am 94.1% effective from catching COVID-19. You have the Pfizer. I think the Pfizer is 95.0% effective. Then you have Johnson & Johnson, which is maybe 66.8, 66.5%, which is low, but still that's better. The Johnson & Johnson is better than you not having the vaccine at all. So most of the people that we see and that are these hospitals are full, has been hospitalized, are people who have not been vaccinated, who are unvaccinated, and that percentage is at 87%, and that source is coming from the CDC. Let me see, man, we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff, but I just want to deal with this. You got COVID-19 breakthrough hospitalization, age is 73. Excuse me, 71%, 71 with 3 more underlying conditions. Breakthrough causes hospitalizations occurs mostly for adults with multiple conditions. So multiple people, if you have an underlying, we know that people are at high risk. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, sugar, heart disease, all types of them. You have asthma. These are some of the underlying conditions that you may have. We know if you catch it, it may be the symptoms may be severe on you where you may become hospitalized. I'm gonna show this, but we're gonna deal with this now before we get into the conversation. This information doesn't. Now, these are a lot of the people. Now, I'll say he's the king of the anti-vaxxers, or he's the leader of the anti-vaxxers. You have Robert F. Kennedy, right? And he's the nephew of the president the ex-president. And Robert F. Kennedy is not a virologist. He's not a epidemiologist. I'm turning these names up. He's not a microbiologist. He's not a science, but he is the leader in the anti-vaxxer move. Robert F. Kennedy. He's actually a lawyer, entertainer lawyer. He's some type of lawyer, but he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer, but these are the disinformation doesn't. These are Dr. Ben Taper. So a lot of the stuff that people are getting off of TikTok and getting off of Facebook, it is a lot of misinformation that is coming from these people. And I'm gonna briefly talk about these people in a little bit because I can personally attest to in my home 2 of the accusations or 2 of the claims that some of these people from the disinformation doesn't mention. My wife and my stepdaughter tried it on me. So they don't know exactly where this actually came from. They don't know where this actually came from. But Dr. Ben Taper, we're gonna find out what type of doctor he is, because when you see the name doctor, everybody thinks that you got different types of doctors in different types of fields. If I'm a heart surgeon, and what they call the things where they check y'all, what kind of doctor is that?
Something like the OBGY.
OBGY, and I specialize in the OBGY. If I'm an OBGY, a doctor, I ain't got no business going into the surgery room and trying to create, and trying to do surgery. So this guy here is not a microbiologist. He's not a epidemiologist, if I'm saying it right. He's not an immunologist. And we probably go over those terms in a minute, but you got Kelly Bogan, you got Sayer J, you got Erwin Elizabeth, you got Rashid Butler, you got Rizza Islam also made the list as well. You got Rizza Islam, I think he's the only black person on the list. Sherry Tim Penny, and actually he's actually using information or regurgitating information. Rizza Islam is regurgitating information from Robert F. Kennedy, and what is the Petrie, not Petrie, but what's the guy name? Yeah, Dale Bigtree, who also is a producer. He's some type of thing into entertainer. He's no type of doctor. So you got Ty and Shaw Bolgen, you got Kevin Jenkins, you got Robert F. Kennedy, which I said is the leader of the anti-vaxxer movement. And a lot of these people are actually regurgitating a lot of misinformation that he's actually been putting out. And you have Joseph Mercolo. So when we're gonna come back to those names in a minute, because we want to deal with the claims, because I know that may be some of the concerns that my wife may be having, that she have heard or read or seen a video or someone shared their video or just regurgitated these people's misinformation, and they're what are you doing? And their qualifications, they're not even qualified. They're definitely not even qualified. Let me get off of this and go back to the regular screen. Where we at? Hold on, y'all. Let me go back to the eCam screen. Let me exit out of that. All right. Let me do this too. Can I exit out of this too? Oh, no, I can't. I'm good. All right. Let me put this back up here. All right. So let's get into it. I just wanted to share a little bit of information of, just a little bit of stats, a little bit of data. You also can go back and check. I put my sources up there at the top, so you can go look at the sources and verify some of these sources. But we definitely gonna deal back with those disinformation dozens, because I guarantee a lot of your family members have been regurgitating a lot of those guys' information. So, baby, let's get into it. So, let's voice some of your concerns. Why haven't you taken the vaccine?
Because I'm scared.
Because you're scared. She says she's scared to take the vaccine. So what are some of your concerns? Because again, like I said, my wife she's not against getting the vaccines. Well, I'm gonna say she's just on the fence. She's on the fence right now. So we're trying to get her off of the fence. So let's talk about some of your concerns. Let's go down some of the lists of your concerns that you talked about.
The long-term side effects, for one.
Okay, when you deal with the long-term side effects. Okay, but that's not from the vaccine.
How you know?
That's from the disease. The disease causes long-term effects.
Okay.
Like Sutek mentioned long haul a while ago, people even afterwards, people still having symptoms for months and for weeks and even months. Like you deal with you talking about your heart. You think now that something is going on with your heart. My wife, after she had COVID, and like I said, she had brain fog. And again, brain fog, where it travels up to the brain, and the symptoms of that is the loss of memory, it's the loss of taste, and it's the loss of smell. So when she had COVID, she couldn't smell, she couldn't taste, and loss of memory. Even like now, I think she's still suffering from the loss of memory, because she have at times she have problems remembering things. I can tell her something one day, and the next day she say I hadn't told her anything. But hold on, y'all. This is Sean again. Hold on. Put him on. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear Sean. Let me see. Go ahead, Sean. Let me see if I go ahead, Sean.
Effects.
Say what now?
I want to answer the question about the long-term effects.
Okay, hold on 1 second before you do that. Can y'all say yes if y'all can hear Sean in the chat? Before we go any further, make sure that we can hear Sean in the chat. I know it's a little bit delayed, but we'll wait. Hold on, I want to wait. Let me know if y'all heard Sean in the chat when I just answered the phone call and he said something. He wanted to answer the question. She said, What is? Yes. Okay, they can hear you. What up? Oh, what up, Joe? What up, Joe? My best friend, man, from Boston, man, in the chat. He's from Natchez, man. He's from Mississippi too, but he resides in Boston, man. What up, Joe? What up, Joe? And I just had a conversation with him on my way to Texas to actually meet Sean and Chavis. We actually had a conversation about vaccines on my way to Texas, and we kind of talked about some of the misinformation that was put out there that our people are regurgitating about. But go ahead, Sean. You said you wanted to answer my wife's question about the long-term effects.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So if there was going to be any long-term effects from the vaccine, it will occur within the first 45 days after the second vaccination. Meaning if you got the first dose and then you go through that time period and you get the second dose, 45 days would be the rate of understanding if you're going to develop some type of long-term effect. It's been that way for the last 100 and some plus years. As long as there's been inoculations and vaccinations, that would be the case. Now, to add to that, right? Let's say if you've been vaccinated before and it was 30 years ago, you haven't developed any long-term effects from a vaccine that was 30 years ago. Whether you were a kid and it was against your will or not, you have not had any long-term effects. Now, why am I saying this? Is because 30 years ago, vaccines were deadlier then than they are now. They used the actual virus, a weakened strand of the virus or unactivated version of the virus, and then administered in your body. That is more crazier scientifically now because of the evolution of vaccine science has emerged and evolved. Today, we look back on how they were doing this before. It looks crazy to us today because of the advancement in technology and science. But to answer the question wholeheartedly, the first 45 days will give your physicians, your primary care physicians or doctors, they know within that time frame if you're going to develop something like that. Now, to add to that, they are always looking at vaccines throughout history. So that means that they're constantly monitoring and will continue to monitor even the old vaccine population, because they'll be using safer ways to administer vaccines for children due to the evolution of mRNA technology. So that's a good question about the long-term effects. Now, on the flip side of that, what are the long-term effects of catching COVID-19? That is still unanswered. Even though we know about long-term COVID and some of the symptoms and signs and things of that nature, we don't know the long-term repercussions your body has taken from getting beat up by the disease, because the jury is still out on how bad this disease really affected people, whether it was severe disease because of an immense amount of a viral load, or whether it was just asymptomatic and you just had, no real hospitalization, but you had these symptoms and what occurs. Now, as far as brain fog, as far as memory loss, developing diabetes, having some type of kidney, heart, lung failure, those things are coming out, and they're coming out more rapidly now. But the asymptomatic people who had little to no response from the infection, and they just may have experienced a loss of taste and smell, that weighs on the brain, because that's where that comes from. That loss of taste and smell has something to do with that brain fog, and it's going on with the brain. But they don't know the long-term effects of that. But people aren't questioning the long-term effects of the infection of a disease. They're questioning the long-term effects of a vaccine that prevents hospitalizations, death, and the spread of that infectious disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sean, so it's not just attacking the upper respiratory system; it is attacking all of the organs. Is what you're saying? It's not, because I know, you know, that's what at first we thought it was just the upper respiratory system. Then we found out about the brain fog with the lost taste of smell and what's the name. But it attacks the heart, it attacks the kidney, it attacks the lungs, it attacks the liver, and etc. Right?
Yeah, it attacks all 10 organs and will constitute over 203 different symptoms in the body. And the Delta variant can cause blood clots, gangrene, and it's something else that's slipping the top of my mind right now. But the Delta, which is different from Alpha and the other variants, is this one takes a different path. So ultimately, we have to be very careful with knowing this stuff. And I know I said something about the first 40 days, so I want to give you a source for that for people in the listening audience. You can actually look that up at CHOPS, which is the Children's Hospitalization of Philadelphia, that does really good scientific studies and research on vaccine science. And that's where that knowledge comes from. But it's not only just CHOPS. This is something known by all immunologists. So when I'm giving you something, this is something known by the immunologists that deal with the administering the vaccine and the effectiveness of the vaccine. When we talk about how many people or how the disease spreads, and we're tracking data, how many people been infected and how many people died and things of that nature, you're talking about epidemiology. Right? When you're talking about how viruses emerge and spread and things of that nature, you're dealing with virologists. So you got to know, and I know this is a lot, but you got to know not everything, but you need to know a little bit about each one of those three: immunologists, epidemiologists, and virologists, because when we get misinformation, and it's not coming from those three areas, and we're unable to track down the correct data to present that, we need to know how to qualify these people. So when you come back to the disinformation, the dirty dozen, right? When you come back to them, you're not going to see anyone that's in those realms. The one questionable account is McCullough. His pseudoisms makes him millions of dollars, along with other people that are on the disinformation campaign.
Right.
It makes them millions of dollars.
Right.
And I'm bringing this up to say, people always talk about how much people make from the vaccines and this, that, and the third. Have you not seen the hundreds of millions of dollars that are being made by these people that are pushing misinformation, herbalists, and so forth? That's a whole market that you ain't even thought about. You just thinking it because you're being anti something. But your wife's question is a valid question, because those are concerns that most people who are hesitant have. And just to bring it back to that, you know what I'm saying? That's a good question. She might have several others, but I'm not trying to ease it. I'm just only trying to give you the actual presentable data. So think about it. I've had the vaccine since my second dose was April of this year, and we're in October. And toward the end of October, it will be literally 6 months out. And because I have the Moderna, I really don't need a booster shot. My immunity is not warning. My protection is not wavering or lessening going through that span. It's actually holding up. And you had said something about that earlier. You said that you also have Moderna. And it's nothing against Pfizer, because Pfizer is still protective against hospitalizations and death. It's just as far as defending the body against the spread of infectious disease, the efficacy is 64%. Whereas initially with the other variants, it was against the other variants, it was 95% infectious. So that's what we're looking at. And I'll probably call back in. I'm gonna let you get back to it, but I'll probably call back in, or you can call me or whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably call you back in, man, because I want you to kind of talk to her about what's in the vaccines. I was gonna try to pull it up on the thing earlier, but we was trying to rush.
No, you good? Yeah, you good.
Okay,
you
then.
Good. Just hit me back when you.
Okay, yeah, I'll call back in for that. All right, appreciate you again, man.
Also, the vaccine ingredients should be in the. Did I put it in the book? I think I did. I think it's on like a little fact sheet.
I might try to comb through it and see it, because I kind of jumped ahead of myself when we went straight to the questions, but I'm glad I wanted to get one of her questions out, and I want to go back and read something in your book about viruses so people can understand what a virus is, because what a virus is and what a virus actually does, because a lot of people think that they made in the laboratory. All right, bro. Peace.
Yeah.
All right, that was my good brother, Sean Cal Funny, man, and I kind of jumped ahead of myself, so that was one of my wife's concerns. So I hope she was listening and was able to get a little something out of what Sean said. I think she was, because she's writing. I guess she's over there writing some stuff, but she's dealing one. So I wanted to do this. Let me see. I'm gonna read something from out of Sean's book right here. This is the book that I'm saying pre-orders down at the bottom. Go get the Spear Masters, Historical Survey of the Minds of African Warrior Scholars. Hold on, let me change cameras for just 1 second so y'all can see it clearly. Dang, I got 1,000 miles over here. All right, hold on. I don't know what happened to my stuff. Y'all give me 1 second. I got so much stuff pulled up over here. Well, I ain't even, hold on. I'm trying to get back to the other camera, but it don't look like it's gonna let me do it. Hold on, y'all. I wanna put it, let me get scene window. All right, let's go to the other camera. All right, this is it right here. I'm trying to go to the other camera. So this is this is what we saying pre-order right here. It's on Same Tree, different branch publishing. What Sars COVID taught me. And again, I have read the entire book from front to back, even the bonus chapters that are added in the back of the book. I've read it from front to back. It's a great jam-packed with information. And it answers a lot of questions and concerns that my wife may have, and may someone else that you may know that may have. But let's talk about what is a virus. I want to read something from page, let me get my little notes up. Let me get my notes up. All right, I'm gonna see what page I'm gonna start from. So let's see what a virus is, man, because a lot of people think viruses are made in a lab, and actually one of the people in the dirty disinformation dozen, they actually make the claim too that viruses are made in the lab. And a lot of our people have said the same thing. I have talked to people and say that this is it's man-made, and we know that virus has been here longer than we have. Hold on, let me switch the camera. All right. I'm trying to see what page I want to start on. Where did I write it down there? I may can just flip right to it. Y'all give me just a second, because I wrote I can find it, because I don't know what, I don't got notes everywhere. But let me find, I think it's on page 14. Okay. Let's see. This is from Sean's book. This is Understanding Viruses, chapter 1. Then when we start at the top, it says, what are viruses? And he has the source down here at the bottom. Everything that we publish, if we citing something, we have the site for you to actually go do your own research. it says, what is a virus? A virus is a microscopic infection that are called obligated parasites and their host cells. Viruses spread from cell to cell via infection, particularly called virions. I'm gonna read that again. It says viruses spread from cell to cell via infectious particles called virions, which contains genomes comprised of RNA and DNA surrounded by a protected protein coat. Upon particles entry of the dissociation in the host cells, the viral genome directs the synthesis of viral components by cellular system. Progenitor virus particles are formed in the affected cell by the de novo cells assembly from the newly synthesized component. In Vincent, I'm not even going to say his last name, but he's a virologist, lecture on viruses, he states a virus is an infectious obligated intracellular parasite comprised of genetic material, DNA and RNA, often surrounded by a protein coat, sometimes in the membrane. But it was in his breakdown that caught my attention of his stated infection just means it can come from cell to cell and from host to host. Obligated intracellular means that the virus has to get into a cell in order to produce a parasite. A parasite means one organism taking something from another organism. In short, viruses are microscopic parasites that enters the host cell, which it needs in order to survive. All viruses contain nucleic acids that is either DNA or RNA, specific because it can't be both. A virus cannot replicate themselves without a viable host. So if the virus cannot find another host over a period of time, the virus will no longer be able to survive. Viruses are not, that's a definitely a key point. I'm gonna read that again. It says, and viruses cannot replicate themselves without a viable host. So if the virus cannot find another host over a period of time, that viruses would no longer be able to survive. So that virus would no longer be able to survive. So that concludes where I put up about SARS-CoV, not SARS-CoV-2, but SARS-CoV-2 that was in Asia in 2002. And in 2004, it said it disappeared. It had no host to go to. So viruses are not living things. Viruses are not living things. Viruses are not living things. Viruses are complicated assemblies of molecules, including proteins, nucleic acids, lipids, and carbohydrates. But on their own, they can do nothing until they enter a living cell. Without cells, viruses will not be able to multiply. Therefore, viruses are not living things. When viruses encounter a cell, a series of chemical reactions occur that leads to the production of new viruses. These steps are completely passive that are predefined by the natures of molecules that comprise of virus particles. Viruses don't actually do anything. Often scientists and non-scientists alike ascribe actions to viruses such as employing, displaying, destroying, invading, exploding, exploiting, and so on. These terms are incorrect because viruses are passive, completely at the mercy of the environment. And this is from the virologist Vincent Rossin, and I'm not going to say his last name, but this is a virologist. So I'm saying, so this would kind of make him qualified well, I still would have to go do my own due diligence of research, but I'm starting out with a virologist, someone who was actually in the field that actually studies viruses. And when we get to the dirty dozen, those names I threw up, I guarantee a lot of the regurgitation and the hesitance from other family members are coming from the misinformation, from the disinformation disinformation dozen is what they call, what they are actually calling these people. And none of these people are qualified to talk about some of the things that they are talking about, making up things, or we're going to get into they are injecting antennas into your arms, you're being magnetized, it is caused by 5G, vaccines are creating autism. We're going to deal with all those things from the disinformation dozen, and we're going to see if they are actually qualified to actually talk about what they are talking about. We have to deal with the experts. We have to deal with the experts. But baby, before we get into hold on, before let's what's some of your other concerns before we get into what is in the virus? Let's talk about some what else is got you hesitant from taking the vaccines. I know it's some of those claims that I just made, but there's many other claims that we're going to talk about from the Dirty Dozens, because she don't know anything. And a lot of people that actually regurgitate this information don't even know where this information is actually coming from. So, we're going to expose and see if these people are qualified. They are not pulling up and showing any type of data. That is the reason why I showed at the beginning of the show, I showed scientific methodology. Peace, Omawali Africa, man. Peace, brother. Y'all go please subscribe to that brother channel over there. Like I said, I don't look at a lot of YouTube channels. I can count on my hand how many I listen actually go and look at. And Omawali Africa, man, he has a lot of good content on his platform, man. So y'all please go subscribe to Omawali Africa's channel. Omawali, if you still on here, man, put your YouTube channel in there, man, for people can go and subscribe to your channel. I don't know if it's Omawali Africa. It might be Omawali Africa, and put the name of your podcast in there, man. He has a lot of great information on there, man. But shout out to that brother as well. Peace to Miss Trismus, our sister Sophie. And I know Sister Sophie, she's probably I don't know where Sophie at. I don't know, Sister Sophie, I don't know if you hesitant or you just an anti-vaxxer or you've been vaccinated. I know at one time you was also resistant to. That is another sister I'm also worried about too, as well as my wife. But what are some of your other concerns, baby, that that's got you hesitant from getting vaccinated? Appreciate that, brother Sutek. Sutek put it in the chat. Y'all please subscribe to Omawali's channel.
I don't know. It's just since I caught that virus, my body has been very different. Like I'm short of breath. I can't run nor walk like I used to do a lot of, active stuff. I can't do that anymore. And my heart, like it's not the same. It races, it flutters, I had to just take a deep breath and just calm myself down and just breathe. So it's just a lot that my body has been affected ever since I caught that virus. And I just don't know how my body is going to react. So, with all what I got going on, and then I go get the vaccine,
So you saying that you don't think that the vaccine will stop you from having severe symptoms? Because see, even with what you got, you caught it. So Sean was trying to explain to you when you was on the phone some of the long-term effects, long-term effects. Like you're seeing people now that doesn't even have diabetes after catching COVID-19. There is a high rapid rate of people having diabetes, and again, it is called long haul symptoms. Thank you, Sutek put it in the chat. It is long haul symptoms that you are having. Symptoms again that you can have, for weeks, for months at a time. So those might be some of the long-term effects that you are having. And again, like Sean said, the virus is not just attacking the respiratory system. It is attacking all the organs into the body. So that is a reason why you may have shorter breath. Because my wife, she's getting better. She has a breathing thing, but and she has to put in her mouth and breathe with. But my wife, she couldn't even stand up for a long period of time without getting dizzy. You know what I'm saying? She was out walking in the neighborhood at one time, and she can't even go walk in the neighborhood. I think, what was that, the other week you and Tootie and Eve went, and you had to turn around and come back. She had to turn around and come back. She can't even walk in our community anymore because of, you know, she can't hardly breathe. So, and she was down. She thought she actually had COVID again a couple of weeks ago because she had a couple of those same symptoms. And this is a reason too why I wanted to do the show, because I'm scared. The more I try to, talk to my wife, but I try not to just talk to my wife. I try to at least try to show her. She don't have to take my word for it, but I'm trying to show her the data. I'm trying to show her, the clinical trials. Viruses has already been tested before actually they put it out to the public, have been tested on thousands and thousands of people before they actually start taking it to the public through the clinical trials. So you can go and look at the clinical trials. You can go actually to the CDC website, and then they have something where you can click on. I can't remember where it's at because I hadn't been on in a minute, but it has the Pfizer, it has Moderna, and it has Johnson & Johnson on there. And you can click on that, and I think you actually can see the clinicals. No. You can see ingredients. You can see the overall ingredients in what the vaccines are, but you actually can go to the website and you actually can see the Moderna, the Pfizer, or the Johnson & Johnson, and you actually can see some of the data and see exactly what they did, you know what I'm saying, through the whole trials of the thing. And actually Sean, in his book, dang, I don't want to get the name right. My mind is overloaded. I don't know what I did with the book. Okay. But in Sean's book, What SARS-CoV taught me, he actually have inside of the book, he actually has some of the stuff that's dealing with the clinical trials, and you can see the double blind, the triple blind, if you don't know what that is. He talks about that in the book. So, and I may explain what the double blind, triple blind is in a minute, or I may call Sean and get Sean back on the phone and he can explain it a little bit more, because he's more articulate when it comes to these things than I am. Thousands of people, yes, they put the ingredients up not long after it was in the FDA approved, right? So she's just been having some issues, and like I said, she was having all these things that was going on with my wife. It actually scared me. So, we have conversations a lot about this because I want to see my wife around, you know what I'm saying? I want to see my wife around, and I want her to make, the right decision for herself, and not only the right decision for herself, but a right decision for her husband, and a right decision for her children. And I'm not trying to force anybody to get vaccinated. I'm just saying, do your due diligence of information. Do your due diligence of research. Stop regurgitating Facebook videos and reading posts off of Facebook and TikTok videos. As much energy you put into Facebook and the TikTok, go put in them as that, and get on these the CDC website, the World Health Organization website. Go to the people that are actually creating these vaccines. Go to the Moderna website, the Pfizer website, the Johnson & Johnson website, Zeneca at one time, but I think they took a Zeneca off of the market, if I'm not mistaken. So go look at the data. That is the reason why I put up the scientific method, so you can actually follow that scientific method to come up to see how these people come up with their conclusion. What's that? What is that?
What's what?
You got the hand up right there. Yes, Bonnie Miller. What's going on with that?
I was telling him, what he's saying. I've been going through all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So you scared. What do you think the vaccine is gonna do to your body? And again, I'm gonna ask you the same thing that not Sean, but asked you. Have you ever been vaccinated in your life?
Yes.
You have been vaccinated. So you've been vaccinated in your life. So have you had yellow fever before?
No.
Okay. Have you had smallpox before?
Yes.
Have you had polio before?
No.
Have you had the chicken pox?
Yes.
You had the measles, but you hadn't had these. So I'm saying a lot of these things we don't hardly see anymore because or we don't deal with it anymore because we have been vaccinated. And this new vaccines, like Sean was trying to talk about, where we talk about inoculation, like a lot of people are against vaccines, but have you ever heard of a brother named Onesimus?
No.
If you go back and you look in the 18th century, this is for everybody. If you go back and you look in the 18th century, the introduction of inoculation, which became vaccination, it comes from Onesimus. During the 18th century, you can go Cotton Mather. I think this was actually in Boston, right? And we know at a particular time that smallpox was running rampant over here, and the Europeans were dying by the buttload. They was dying by the buttload over this virus, right? So Onesimus introduced inoculation. And he actually elaborated and told, right, Cotton Mather, and he actually elaborated and told Massa at this time what they was actually doing in Ghana. What they was doing in Ghana in order to not to get yellow fever. And even if you look at during the time of the Gullah and the Gullah Geechee, you had a lot of Europeans that would even come on those sea islands because they couldn't, the Gullah and the Geechee, you can go look it up, during a certain period of time, most of the year. This is why a lot of their traditions are intact, because of they wasn't exposed to a lot of the masses, perspective, masses worldview, or master forcing his worldview and perspective on them, because he was scared to actually come on the plantation from catching this virus. But these Gullah Geechee people that they got from West Africa, these people was able to cultivate rice, because that's what they was enslaved for, and brought to those and brought to those sea islands in North Carolina, South Carolina, and in Georgia, and in parts of Florida. On those sea islands that was a great place on those sea islands to cultivate cultivate rice. So if you go look in Sierra Leone, you go look at some of the Mindi people, the Kissi, the Kono, the Timni. You go look at some of these people. These people were master farmers. They cultivated rice. So they brung these people, captured these people, and brung them to these sea islands in order to cultivate rice for them. So they was over there, and why was they not getting affected? Because they understood inoculations. They understood viruses. They understood that viruses weren't even made in a laboratory. They had certain, if you go look at, Sean brought a lot of this stuff out the other week about during a certain particular time. We know that drums are a part of African culture. And we talk about this so much on Kofi Piesie, our research team, and Mossi Warrior Clan, right? So if you're getting married, there's drums there. If there's a festival, there's drums there. A rites of passage, there's drums there. You're being initiated into a secret society, drums are there. If you're out planting crops, there is drums there. You're getting married, there are drums. So drums is the heartbeat of the community. So we always congregated together. But the people in Africa, they had so much sense that they did not congregate together when they knew viruses was lurking. They knew, and they would do certain, and they had deities named after these certain types of viruses. They understood viruses. They understood that they could not get in these massive circles. They want to call me pastor. Pastor. I'm so tired of people be calling me pastor. My dad's a pastor. I don't know. My dad's a pastor. A lot of my people in my family are pastors, ministers. So that I might have that certain type of energy, that certain type of vibe. I even sound like it. You know, you're not the only person that said that. But so I'm saying that even when they say this come from white folks, I'm telling you it comes from people that look like us. Go look up Onesimus. Onesimus was born in Ghana. And not even Ghana, you in certain places in West Africa, they understood viruses. They understood inoculations. So Sean explained to my wife live while ago about what was, so he was actually explaining the different generations of vaccinations. You got the first generation, you got second generation, and now we got third generation vaccines, which are safer than the first two. You hear me?
Say what?
They are safer than the first two.
Okay.
So and Sean actually deals with that also in his book. But I mean, you can go to these websites and you can actually dig out the information for yourself. You can see the data. You can see. You don't have to take my word for it. Sound like you at the Grand Lodge. Yeah, I used to get it in at the Grand Lodge too, man. Me and my brother Joe on there when I was an active Master Mason. But yeah, man. So, but you believe, so if you don't think that it will prevent you. So again, if you go get the Moderna is 94.1% effective. So that means I have a 94.1% effective rate from catching it. I have a 4% of catching it. That's why at the bottom it has, when I showed earlier, y'all, for people that got in, I showed the data from this, I think it was from John Hopkins, either from John Hopkins or it was from the CDC. And we were showing adults being hospitalized, and it has 80.7% of unvaccinated people who have been hospitalized or who have died, right? And it had a 4.0% of people being vaccinated. We never ever made the claim that getting vaccinated will stop you from catching COVID-19, from catching the coronavirus, which creates the disease, which is COVID-19. We saying that the viruses you have a 94.1% effective rate with the Moderna. You have a 95% with the Pfizer, and 66, and even 6. I wouldn't recommend getting the Johnson & Johnson, but dang, it's a 66.5% effective rate. You know what I'm saying? That's better than a 0%. That means you wide open where you can actually catch it. You can actually catch it. And you can, and even if I catch it, even with me being vaccinated, if I catch it, right, I'm not going to be severely sick. I may be asymptomatic. I may not have, but even, I may be asymptomatic, or my symptoms may be very severe. I mean, very minor, where I'm not really feeling nothing. So would you rather feel a little sick, or you have a little something, instead of not able to breathe, not able to smell, not able to take a fever out of the roof, diarrhea? So I'm saying, which one would you take? Would you take where I may not catch it at all, and if I do catch it, I may not even feel it at all, or be wide open and catch it, and I possibly end up in the hospital and end up with more complications, and then I might end up leaving my family by leaving the earth? So I'm saying, which one you think will make more sense? Will make more sense, especially if you. And I'm saying this to everybody. I'm saying, don't listen to me. You just have to go listen to the experts, and stop listening to these TikTok sensations and these Facebook sensations, as my wife, my stepdaughter, and other people that I know that regurgitate some of the same information. Because when I have these conversations with people, people look at me crazy. My own people, when we're saying, I got vaccinated, and then where I'm a part-time entrepreneur, and I'm trying to become a full-time entrepreneur, but I work 4 days to work full-time. So even when I'm on the job, there's Brother Sean calling in again. Hold on one second. Make sure we get him back on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, Sean. Make sure I get you back on. All right. Brother Sean, and y'all let me know if y'all can hear Sean before I let him just go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, but I think they can hear me okay.
Okay. Brother Jeremiah Judah 7000, he says, the Most High will protect me, and I'm good, y'all. Can't even tell us what it is. We've been telling you that, and I'm gonna ask you something. Hold on. No, because I want, because see, and I be trying to, Jeremiah, I don't have no problem with this dude. For some reason, wait a minute, but for some reason, this brother got an issue with me. I never disrespected the dude. He'll come on this platform, and if he go lie, I will never come on this brother platform and disrespect him at all. Even if I agree, and a lot of stuff I don't agree with over there, but I don't come on and I don't disrespect that brother over there. But he'll come over here on my platform. And again, like I said, if this is not the conscious community, this is the new independent African Academy over here. We don't deal with EY Baruba. We don't, that is bad character. And so I don't mind you being over here. I'm just asking you to be respectful. If you have an issue with Sean, if you got an issue with Sutek, if you have an issue with Chavis, I tried to work it out between y'all two, brother. But don't come over here trying to, what's the name? But let me ask you a question. I'm just going to ask a question, man. Jeremiah Judah, 7,000. If you break your arm right now, are you going to pray to the Most High to heal your break arm, or you going to get up and you going to go see the professionals? Which one? You going to pray to the Most High to heal your arm right away, or you going to go to the professionals? You going to go to the hospital, people that deal with broke bones? I'm gonna see what he's gonna say, man, because I want to see. Because if the Most High can heal his arm, and right away, I need to start praying to the Most High.
Kofi, come on, man.
I mean, this stuff is because it's like I'm saying, I ain't got no problem with the dude. Like every time it seems like we go live, if he's not thumbing the video down, he's on here talking to everybody in here. Is good. Like we good. He good.
It's about you and your wife. I don't care nothing about Jeremiah Judah. Listen, to hell with Jeremiah Judah. This is about you and your wife. That's why I ain't saying nothing to him. Let's just keep it a buck real quick. All right. Now, you was saying something before you got detoured in regard to you personally. As far as her being you being vaccinated and her not being vaccinated, and something happened and she leave this earth, and you wouldn't be able to live with yourself knowing that this was a preventable, this would have prevented her death.
Right.
Being vaccinated would have prevented her death. So I'm sure you already shared the instance that I shared with you about our brother. He in the chat right now about an incident where him and his friend was having a conversation about the vaccine, and he continued to stay in the ignorant path regarding the misinformation and saying that he didn't want to do it because of a lot of misinformation that he did get from Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Right? So let's just keep it right there, because this is very important for Black people, really all people. It's not just specifically Black people, but we tend to believe a lot of what we hear in those little 35, 45 seconds or 140 characters, and we take it and we deem it to be something because it's anti-something else, and we don't know where it stems from. So the truth of the matter is this. They're having a conversation about vaccines, and the brother's trying to bring the other one a little bit of information, and the other one is rejective of the information. Therefore, there's a confirmation bias. Once you develop that confirmation bias, nobody really wants to hear the actual truth. So what has to happen is we can't really just be attacking the hesitant group, right? That's really why for some people, I don't push hard. Other people I push. The hesitant people, I don't push them as hard because I know there's some people that are genuinely asking what they're asking out of ignorance and they don't know. And then there's people who are asking what they're asking to be disingenuous. Those are people we need to cheat check. But right now, your show is bigger than due because of the misinformation that has rolled out. So back to the point. The brothers are having a conversation. They're going through information. The brother didn't want to hear the information, didn't want to get the vaccine. Next thing you know, the wife contracts COVID. The wife dies a few days later. The brother says the doctor should have done more, but there's nothing the doctors can do at that particular time because it has to be from the earlier onset. So let me explain something to people about Merck, the vaccine pill, and Regeneron, the monoclonal antibody stuff. Now, that stuff has to be administered to you right on time. If you've already developed severe COVID, they will not give you the monoclonal antibody treatment. It's too late. that won't help you. It's got to be right before that severe stage where they can do it, because they got a grace period. Now, with the pill, with the Merck pill, it is supposed to prevent death. So the Merck pill may help prevent some people. Notice what I'm saying here. I'm being very specific. May help prevent some deaths, but it does not stop the spread of infectious disease or hospitalization. People think that the pill is going to be an actual cure. It is not a cure. Neither is the monoclonal antibodies. They are preventative. I mean, they are just treatments after you've been infected. That means you can be reinfected. The situations can reoccur, and it can take you out. And yeah, it's some people out there that can get infected 3 or 4 times, maybe even more than that, especially if you have comorbidities, which means you carry one or more diseases. If you got heart problems or high blood pressure and diabetes, those are comorbidities.
Right.
So what we need to understand is the 2 brothers was having a conversation. One was trying to introduce them to some more valid information and try to help them substantiate the information that they were dealing with as being illegitimate, and people take offense to that. Now, the one brother who let us, who stood on this principle of this false information was ignorant enough to not protect his family, because his family is listening to him. The decision is based on the brother who is caught up in the misinformation. And then when the wife is too far gone in the infection and she transitions, it is now the doctor's fault. No, the responsibility was on this man to protect his household, because as a man, our job is to protect our families.
That's right.
At all costs. So the severity of the situation between the 2 brothers that had this conversation, and then the one brother wife contracts COVID and then she dies, leaves him with a heavy burden that he's never had to endure, because the primary care physician, the primary provider in the house, or he might have been a provider in the house, but as far as the emotional support and all the other aspects of things comes from the mother, right?
Right.
That is gone now.
Right.
How do you explain that to your children? You say the doctors couldn't save her, and then they find out that a vaccine would have prevented her death. Why did my mama not just get the vaccine? It was too late to give her the vaccine. It was too late to give her monoclonal antibody treatment. She was at a severe stage. Her symptoms progressed when she didn't. They were asymptomatic at first. They progressed too fast, and you thinking that you was going to use some herbal remedies or whatever type of remedies that you thought you was going to use to treat it, and by the time you realize that it didn't, and this lady slips and falls into a coma, or she's too sick to get up out of bed and go somewhere, she dies. That is on you. So the moral of this whole story is we can't rely on unverified information or confirm it to be true based on someone's worldview out of ignorance. Why are they saying this? We never question the misinformation. We always question the truth.
Well, fine. Why is that, Sean? Like that's like, it's like crazy to me. Like we can actually go and show the data. We can show how these people came up with their conclusion. We can show, how they test and, all these things, man, the process, the step by step, in this. But when we ask the people that's spreading the misinformation about certain things, man, they can't walk us through no step by step, can't show no data nowhere, but they are believing in this because it's got 3,000 or 5,000 hits on or 10,000 hits on TikTok.
Because the lie is sexy. It is anti-something. They gotta be why are they trying to give us a vaccine? They trying to kill us. Why would they want us to live now? Why would they want us to get this? What is in it for them? What's the deal with them trying to help save us? Well, let's just keep it real. They've been administering vaccines since they learned how to get learn about inoculation from Onesimus and other people from West Africa, along the coast of West Africa, that was enslaved and kidnapped and brought here. So with all this information, they figured out what was plaguing them was not plaguing us. So they wanted that same longevity. They wanted that same ability to be able to coexist and to extend out. And once they figured that out, and like Sheffer said yesterday on the show, it is a fact that vaccines increased the life expectancy in the human population.
Say that one more time, because that goes over people's head, man. Like that was a powerful statement he made yesterday, and it's a powerful statement that you made today. Say that one more time, man, for the people, man, because that's
so this is a fact. If you look at the history of vaccines, and it'll tell you to back it up, the historyofvaccines.com, they actually, you can go there, but that's not there. I can pull my book out, my virology book out right now, and go to the immunology part of section 2 dealing with pathogenesis and so forth, and it'll tell you that our life expectancy increased when we began to vaccinate, because you have to think about it. If you look at the history of viruses and how they've plagued the world, people would get sick, people would die. They didn't know how to treat the disease. They didn't even know it was, we know it as a disease today, but they didn't know it as such. So let me give you a little bit of more history. Let's be specific with West Africa. When people would get sick in a village, the whole village would up and leave and burn down the village because they thought that evil spirits resided in the village.
Right.
All it was someone contracted a virus in that area and spread it, and it killed a couple of people in the village. But they thought the spirits was telling them that you shouldn't live here, so they would burn down the village and migrate elsewhere and never come back to that village, that area where they just left from. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then over time, they began to, well, not all of them, but like, for instance, we'll use the word witch doctor since some people are familiar with that, right? We'll use that term. They began to try certain things. They began to open up a wound and just on some experimental stuff, squeeze the pus out of somebody who had just been plagued and died into their little cuts. And they realized that it was giving them protection against that which was taking people out.
Right.
So they knew earlier on in that early onset that they had something that could work. So they would use that to their leverage in their communities. And people would look back to them and think like, these people are crazy, but they're dancing, singing, and running through the villages as if there was no issues. They were going places that they would deem off limits during this time of year because they know the bush or this particular area is where the plague comes from.
Yeah.
It was spooked all the way out.
Right.
So now they could go to that area and not be infected. But all I'm saying is the transformation from experimental phase from one, and I'm answering your question, but the transformation from observation to experimental phase to testing.
Right.
To testing, and then to coming to your conclusion, and then replicating that.
Right.
that process, which is what you showed earlier, understand methodology,
scientific method,
everything,
right,
brings it to the conclusion that this works. Now, when it comes to misinformation, that's too many steps. You can't do that same. You can't go through that same thought process. You know what I'm saying? If I give you, for instance, if I give you, what's her name, Cheryl Parks, or I might be saying her name, or Dr. Parks, who is a microbiologist in Michigan, and I give you her, and I put her in front of a camera, and I give her some anti-vaccine talking points, and she says some of these certain things, and then she says she is studying the science, and she was reading the science, and the science says this, that, and the third. You're going to believe her because she's a doctor. You don't know which kind of doctor, but the fact that she's a microbiologist and her name's got a PhD on the outside of that, you think that she's an expert in the field of epidemiology, immunology, and virology, and she knows what the hell she's talking about. But she's not in that lab testing those things. What she's in the lab doing is she's testing cells. She knows a lot about cells, but she's not giving you the data on cells. She's not even talking about cells at all. Because if she was being truthful about it, she could sit here and specifically tell you the positive effects a vaccine has on cells, and what the cells, how the cells operate, what's in the cells, what does this, that, and the third. We didn't get any of that information. She says she's reading the science.
right,
The same science that Sean can read and everybody listening to the stream can read. And then you'll listen to her as wrong as she could be, and never listen to me, and I'm following the same data that's giving you the conclusion, and she never gave you the conclusion to the research.
right.
So it's the way it's dressed up, man. If all right, so if I dressed up a lie, and let's say, let me say, who's your favorite actress?
I don't know, man. Denzel Washington, I guess.
His wife.
I said actress.
His wife.
You not an
Oh
actor.
yeah, because you show is an actor. Look, no, but so let's just say this. All right, let's say Sally Richardson.
Okay.
You think Sally Richardson is attractive and beautiful? You know who Sally Richardson is?
I don't even know who that
Jill
is.
Scott. Jill Scott.
Oh, yeah, we'll say Jill Scott. Well, my wife put me in the mind of Jill Scott a little bit.
Okay, Jill Scott.
She's an actor too. That's yeah.
Okay, yeah, she acts too. All right, so there's this. Okay, so let's use Jill Scott, and I think it was in one of Tyler Perry movies where she dressed up and she looked real good when she came out. She had on all black and it was tight in her curves.
Right.
Well, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. If I dress the lie up like that, you're gonna be attracted to it. But if I sent the truth out, the way Jill Scott looked when she was right there with her friends, just looking sad and crying and puffy-eyed and looked like baggy clothes and some jeans, you're not gonna look at her.
Nah.
You're not gonna look at Jill Scott like that. You just gonna ignore that whole scene, bro. But the minute she come out that bathroom and they didn't fixed her, whipped her hair up, and she didn't put on that all black, and she got on them 6-inch heels, and she looking plumptious all over there. You gonna be like, man. You're going to be watching that thing move. When she get up, when she sit down, with the way she drink, the whole 9 yards, and she going to be sitting there looking at you, winking at you and all that. You're going to be like, yeah, whatever she's saying, she right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lie. It's sexy, it's a distraction, and it throws you off.
Yep.
It don't make you uncomfortable. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what it is. The lie don't make you uncomfortable. It make you feel real good.
Yep.
But as soon as I give you this truth, it's raw and uncut. And it don't never sit well, bro. it's just like coming into consciousness. When you start to feel like certain things, when you start challenging certain things, life became uncomfortable for certain people that was around you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Everybody switched up. Everybody was uncomfortable when they was around me, scared what I'm gonna say next come out of my mouth, man. So yeah, man. Talk, man. I don't know if he done probably left up off here, but we was gonna get to that if he got patient enough time, man.
It's on my list.
Yeah, it's because it was on my wife's list. That was another concern about it, man. While we got it on here, I actually told people where they actually can go and look at the ingredients because they're not hiding what's in the ingredients. But can you talk a little bit, man, what's in the vaccine ingredients? So my wife, because that's a concern, even though I done told her where to go.
From the top of my head, I'm gonna do this from the top of my head. I'm gonna make it short, and you gonna laugh because I'm gonna make it short. Salts. Salts, sugars, lipid nanoparticles, and lipids. So you got salt, sugars. They use bigger words for them, but the substitution for it in layman terms is just gonna be like certain type of salts, certain type of sugars, and then you got the lipid nanoparticle, and then you have the messenger RNA. That's the short version of it. Okay, now the technical terms, when you break down the technical terms, solution is going to go right back to salts, sugars, and fats. It's going to go back to those things. All right. Now, why are they using that? So I did a video about ribosomes a few days ago on the Mossi Warrior Clan channel. And in that presentation, those fats, salt, sugars have everything to do with the basis of, dealing with like protein per se. So when you understand ribosomes and the development of ribosomes and amino acids and how they line up and how they deal with one another and how the understanding of ribosomes help them in their vaccine development. You know what I'm saying? That became essential. So we have to understand that, yeah, they're using big words, but they really not saying a whole lot of nothing.
Right.
The complicated ingredient in all of this is just us really understanding that they're using the messenger, which helps you to create a synthetic spike, which is a mocking of the spike protein, right, in the body. That only lasts for 14 days. That's that grace period where it trains up the immune system, and then it goes away. It's no longer created. The body no longer creates that. But we don't understand that part of it. So when we're dealing with the ingredients, we got to get to that point. So the lipid nanoparticle, the technology of that was to encapsulate the messenger to get it to the cell. So those salts, sugars, and fats that surround the messenger are there to only get the messenger to the cell. The messenger is the key to it all, but those fats, salt, sugars encapsulate the vaccine just to get it to the cell so that the messenger can arrive safely, because it can be, when it goes into the body, this is why they keep it cold too, but when it goes into the body, our bodies are so warm, the temperature is so hot inside of our bodies that it would melt it and it would never get to the cell.
That's right.
And therefore it would never help create an immune response.
Right.
So when you're talking about what are the ingredients, the ingredients are there only to get the messenger to its safe place, which is the cell.
So when the messenger get to the cell, what it's delivering a message, right?
Yeah, when the messenger gets to the cell, or you could just say like the real basis of the vaccine. When it gets to the cell, its job is to alert the immune. It's basically alerting the body that something foreign has entered into the cell. Okay. Once it realizes something foreign has entered into the cell, your immune system begins to go into fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
It is going into a fight or flight mode to reject the foreign pathogen that has just entered into the cell.
Yeah.
And this is where your immune system begins to learn about this messenger or this foreign pathogen that just entered into the cell. And then it communicates it back out to other cells in other parts of the body, and it begins to each one teach one, and that process takes place, causing the immune system to now build up a response.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you encounter this foreign pathogen again, it rejects it.
Mm-hmm. So
Mhm.
so just going back to reiterate, you said the ingredients is salt, sugar, fats, lipids, and we just said lipid nanoparticles. Okay, so there you have it now, and he explained how the vaccine is actually working and sending a message to the cells. But with that, with those ingredients, now you have one of the person in those disinformation dozens, the people that I said, matter of fact, I'll give the one of the guys, I think he's the only black guy. If he's the only black guy, I think in the disinformation.
It's really three black people. You got Butter.
Okay, Butter black?
Yeah, Butter's light skin.
Okay.
You got Butter, you got RZA, and then it's another black dude on there. He the very first one I talk about in the book.
Is it it wasn't being taped. I think it was Kevin somebody. I can't think of Kevin.
I can't got my stuff in front of me on my laptop.
I think it's. I know who you're talking about because you mentioned him. I think you.
He the very first brother. He the very first person in the misinformation does, and he's the new face to the whole movement. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? He's the youngest. I say he's the youngest pseudo of the dozen. Yeah. That's a brother.
Yeah, so RZA Islam says that it has baby fetuses into
That is incorrect.
I'm just saying that's not what he's saying. And I heard
that's incorrect. The mRNA vaccines do not contain any no eggs. They don't contain no
exactly.
Now the Johnson & Johnson, because it's an adenovirus vector vaccine, is a second generation vaccine.
Right.
It uses the fetal cell.
Mm-hmm.
The cell, I'm gonna say it again, it uses the fetal cell, which can be replicated and stored and saved. And they don't have to make no more of it. They still using fetal cells from 1985.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
When they want to make a second generation vaccine, they know that they can use the cold virus. They can use, which is one of the ingredients, is the cold virus. You know, like you get a cold, that is a virus. They use that virus, they use the fetal cell, and they use other ingredients to keep it where it needs to, and then they modify it in a way that they can use it to protect and defend against, not protect, but create the vaccine so that they can defend against the foreign pathogen when it enters, but they go through a lot more steps. This is why they offered up a one shot, but Johnson & Johnson was late to the party regarding the other vaccines, is because it takes more time to do that. Those are steps in creating vaccines that hinder it. Now imagine if we did what China did in the middle of a pandemic and we just weakened the coronavirus variants or whatever the like. That means we would have to do it for each variant, but we would weaken it, and then we have to make enough of it for all of these people, and then we would have to administer it. That process would take longer. Even with the science that we have today, if we went back to a second generation or second generation or first generation.
Right. So that's hold on, Sean. So that's what you're talking about right now with the weakening it, right? You talking about second generation. Yeah. Okay. So I just because I be trying to explain that to my wife. You listen to what he's saying, because that's be a lot of the issues too. I don't want the virus injected into me, so I asked him to break down first, second, and third generation. Go ahead.
Yeah, that would take us backwards, which means we would be in first generation vaccine
right.
stages,
mm-hmm.
or we would be in second generation modifying stages.
That's right.
But we're in third generation where the vaccine is where they figured out because of the understanding of ribosomes and how they make proteins and how viruses use the mechanisms of ribosomes to invade our bodies and steal that protein from the ribosomes for its use. They realized that if we fix this right here, and our understanding of how ribosomes act and how viruses evade the body and use that protein developed from those ribosomes, if we protect it, if we do what we need to do in these core areas, that we can make successful vaccines faster, and we didn't necessarily have to have the virus. So this whole evolutionary process for third generation vaccines, it makes it quicker and faster because they don't need the virus.
Did y'all hear what he just said? They don't need the virus. They don't. And I be trying to explain. I done try to explain this to my wife a few times. And even people, when I have the conversation, I really don't talk about it unless somebody talk to me about it. Or I don't really fool with nobody, but when I'm at work, and if I walk past somebody or one of the guys is or females is working for me, and I just walk past to see what they're doing, and they talking about it. Now I may interject if I hear some misinformation about it, but for the most part, I just really don't say too much about it anyway, because I just waste my breath when I try to explain what you just explained, especially when you're talking about first generation, second generation, and third generation vaccines. People don't know. Now I ask them to explain the first generation vaccines, or just even explain this new vaccine that's finna change the game. Did you just explain? It's finna change the game, bro. So I mean,
it already has changed the game. If they already had started developing a mRNA vaccine for cancer and testing the mRNA vaccine against HIV, which is one of the most trickiest viruses that is known to mankind.
Yeah.
They have developed vaccines against every other virus out there that they could develop. But the HIV vaccine has been the most evasive and elusive vaccine because it mutates and hides, meaning that it could be in one part of your body, evade the immune response because it goes to somewhere else, evade the immune response and hide in your brain, come back out and do multiple things. It's like really like mutating in your body and bouncing around and adapting inside of you. Is a very tricky, very, very, very tricky virus. And that goes back to the point of how well do we, and I'm saying how well do we, normal, just laymen, understand viruses? We don't. So the start of our learning curve begins with our understanding of viruses and how long they've actually existed and how they maneuver and operate.
Yep.
So and then it comes to the immune system,
right?
And understanding our immune system and what type of protection will our immune system elicit. And this is what makes natural infection dangerous, is because we don't know the long-term repercussions of natural infection. Plus, we're over 700 and something thousand deaths, which was more than the Spanish flu, and people thought that I was batshit crazy a year ago when I said this virus is more deadlier than the Spanish flu. Now, mind you, if we take away mRNA vaccines and we just had masks and social distancing, we would already be over 1 million deaths. it would be far more deaths if we didn't have the technology that we had today. If we didn't have this technology, cell phones, TVs, the ability to be able to get information out at the rate of speed that we could, and we had 1918 information, well, all we had was tube TV and really rotary phones. We don't get the information that we need fast enough.
Yeah.
So we would be more in a panic. We would be over hospitalized. We don't have enough ECMO machines. Shoot, they didn't have no ECMO machines in 1918. I mean, like, really think about the advancements in science and technology that has helped save lives. Now, you don't want to be on an ECMO machine. I guarantee you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if it's keeping your breathing alive and helping you weather the storm, and you're able to come out of that 64 days later, like some people have and some people haven't, then by all means. But the truth of the matter is that the ingredients are safer than 30 years ago.
Exactly. And I've been stating that. I've been told my wife that. I mean, I just been saying so, and you know, and if JJ's still in here, you got the ingredients for anybody else in here. He gave you the ingredients, and Sutek put the where you can go find the ingredients at. I also tell you can go to the CDC website, and they have where you can click on the Moderna and the Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson, and you can scroll down. And once you click on them, scroll down, and it'll give you the ingredients and each one of those, and it'll give you their effective rate. Also, man, this is man, Sean, I ain't never did a live stream, brother, and me myself got 7. I ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? You know, 7 thumbs down, which I already knew when I got ready to do this show and have a conversation with my wife, because I'm afraid for my wife, and I'm trying to have a discussion live with her and bring people in that also can maybe articulate it a little bit better than I can, man. You know, they thumbing the video down, man. I'm worried about the safety, you know what I'm saying, of my wife. Want my wife to be here for me and her kids and my kids and you know, they thumbing the video down there, and we're not talking.
That's cool, bro. We ain't tripping on that. But let me say something real quick, because I read what and it was a slick shot, but I read it what Rise of Health Consciousness stated, saying that the vaccine won't help a particular person. I'm just going to put it to you like this. The vaccine helps prevent hospitalizations, deaths, and the spread of infectious disease. It doesn't matter about the color of your skin. It doesn't matter about how skinny you are, how overweight you are, or any of that. It's going to do that. It's going to protect you and prevent you from those things. So to sit here and make the assertion that you did, Rise of Health, that was disingenuous, because you don't, and you're supposed to, if you want to talk health consciousness, there's no herb that has been known to mankind right here today that can cause an immune response to a novel virus and prevent 700,000 deaths.
What about cure?
40 million infections and everything else. There's no herb out there that prevents the spread of an infectious disease.
What about cure it? Because there are claims that
there's no herb that can cure.
Okay, I'm with you, because I'm saying that
Let me say this too. There's no cure for COVID, the disease. There's no cure. You don't cure you don't cure SARS-CoV-2. It's a virus. It exists. It's going to always exist. It's going to be with us for the rest of our lives and the people that outlive us lives. There's no cure for that. Now, there is a preventative to that. That preventative prevents it from killing you and hospitalizing you, that it prevents you from having long COVID. FYI, if you've had long COVID, you will find solutions to your long COVID from being vaccinated. So if you've ever had a natural infection and you've had COVID before, you can get the vaccine and it will provide protection. The whole thing is about protection, being preventative. Now, when I made a post months ago that says this virus attacks Black power. The effects of this virus has an impact on Black power. People don't understand what I meant by that. Think about the things that we as a unison are trying to do. We're trying to uplift, promote, educate, and teach about Black businesses, Black unity, and all of these things. But if it ain't there, if we ain't there, we can't do it.
Mm.
This virus has attacked our communities the most. So how can you have Black power and with a decimating community that really don't even exist?
Right. That's a fact, man. Damn, it was something else I had wanted to ask you, man, before we get off of here, man. But it escaped my mind. But I guess, man, I just deal with the dirty does, and I'm just gonna deal with them briefly. I wrote them down, man. I touch on them, a lot of the misinformation that a lot of the.
Where you get that dirty does in there?
I have never heard of it until I got till the chapter was sent to me, and I read it in the chapter because I had no clue of a lot of these people. These lot of people exist, or even I heard some of the claims, but I never knew who these people were. So once I seen them, I actually went and looked these people up so I can put a face to the people's name on here. But I see you must got your book. You flip it through your book.
Who, me? No.
Oh, I thought I heard you flip it through the book. But
I'm typing on my, I'm working.
Oh yeah, you still? Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know what I done did with my thing, but yeah, I'll deal with these claims. I know y'all heard a lot of these claims, man. We've been on a minute. I didn't even know we've been on about 2 hours, man.
Yeah, but she got questions and you ain't let her answer all her
questions. You right. You right, baby. Go ahead.
Let's just keep on talking.
Go ahead, baby. What's the next question? Because she's so quiet over because I thought she was. Now, if she went on the thing.
Because I'm trying to figure out this rise of health consciousness, whatever his name is. I'm trying to figure out what was. I'm still lost on that little comment. I'm trying to see what that's about.
What he say?
Sean just said it. I'm trying to understand it.
She got. Hey, listen, it's smoke now. I ain't like it either. I had to scroll.
I mean, can somebody help me understand what?
I didn't see the question.
We ain't gonna know because they blocked.
Okay.
Oh,
But I mean, we saw it though. I'm trying to figure out.
Saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see it.
All right.
We saw it, Kofi. Okay, you didn't have to see it. We saw it.
Okay.
But anyway, since Sean don't want to talk about it, he think he's asleep. But okay. I had another question about because I want the smoke. I want it. But anyway, they inject the chip. I keep hearing that, the chip. Tell me about the chip.
Don't listen, Kofi. Don't laugh, bro. It's a good question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lil. Yeah, go ahead.
I just asked, what's up with the rumor about the chip?
Mm-hmm.
Where that come from?
That's okay.
Yeah. So earlier in the pandemic, one of the ladies that's on the list of the misinformation, the disinformation, the dirty dozen.
Yeah, let me find it.
She purported that because of Bill Gates and all of this, that pretty much that they were going to insert chips into everybody who received the vaccination. So when you got the vaccine, that would be their way of microchipping you and being able to monitor your activity, obtain your banking information, and all this other stuff that was supposed to transmit outside in your body through the chip.
Right. That's Ty and Charlene Bollinger. Ty and Charlene Bollinger. And
there you go.
That's who that is. Exactly.
So yeah, Kofi in the book, because you know what I'm saying? Some of the claims that are familiar with everybody is in the book.
And go look her up.
I brought that out for a reason, because I wanted people to be familiar with who these people are and what they're responsible for saying. That was wrong. And in the book, we even deal with it, and we give you some fact-checking information to actually substantiate it just based on the data. Like, they were working on some stuff that had something to do with microchipping, and it was some people that they were trying to do it as a test for something that had to do with this specific job in this location that had nothing to do with the vaccine. And so they were mixing up information and trying to push it a certain way. I'm being a little lenient with it, and a little vague and a little lenient, but the information stems from, it was a bunch of misinformation at the end of the day, and it had nothing to do with anything. It was new. So you also have to think about it. This is also around the time that they're saying that 5G, right? 5G would, and that lady, she in the book too.
I'm trying to find her. And again, that other one is Ty and Charlene Bollinger. Go look her up. Go see if she's a virologist, epidemiologist. No, I'm just saying, so people can go look and see these people that's making these claims of, is they qualified to be talking? A lot of these people just quacks, and when you see what field they are in, go ahead with the 5G. I'm trying to find the woman name.
This was because this is earlier on when they began to start working on the vaccine, but then you had people that was saying that 5G.
Christine Northrup. Yeah, Christine Northrup.
Yeah, that's her name. Then you have people talking about 5G, saying that that was what was helping spread the coronavirus. Now, a technology has never been put in place to spread anything. Like, we were not this ignorant when 3G rolled out. We were not this ignorant when 4G rolled out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So how did we become this ignorant when 5G became introduced to people? You have to think about it. They're always looking to improve cell phones. So why the hell are we running around here with all of these cell phones when they actually can, if they're going to use technology to do something to us, they can just put it in the cell phone.
Right.
They don't need to microchip us because everybody got a cell phone. If they want to keep up with our activities, our cell phone will give them more data than a microchip going into being inserted into somebody's body with.
Yeah, especially Kofi phone.
Especially
Kofi phone.
See, because he can't put the thing. He
cannot put it down. Stay in his hand.
But hold on now, I ain't gonna let you beat him up on the live TV because we sit here and did a whole live stream and you was on TikTok.
Not on TikTok. I was getting text messages and stuff like that.
No, he talking about when we was in Texas. He actually seen what I be talking about, the TikTok.
I wasn't even on the phone.
Yeah, you was on the phone before you went to sleep. Yeah, you was on the phone. She stay on her phone too. TikTok. That's where she get her information from. And a lot of these information is
Kofi one day and all I heard was her laughing and her saying, look at this. Look at this.
Yep, TikToking down. TikToking down. Yeah. But that lady name is Kristen Northrup, was the one that made the claim about, but Rizza Islam in the beginning made, I don't know if he's still making a claim, but he made that claim also about 5G.
Hold on. I want to say this though. If you exclude Butter, if you exclude Rizza, and if you exclude the other brother, he was the first one in the book. But if you exclude those people, right? The information is coming from the same people that y'all said don't trust.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Wow. Now, what is it about these people that y'all want us to trust, and not the people who are actually the real people that are a part of these fields of study?
Right.
Like, what is that about? Because we're trying to do right by our people overall, and now you're trying to limit us to who's right and who's wrong. Why are you introducing me to ignorant people? Why not the smart people?
Yes.
Because you think my attention span, listen, you think my attention span is 1 minute and 30 seconds or 140 characters.
Yep, man. It was another one on here, man, that I was like, wow. She was talking about they was going to inject the antennas or something into your
antennas and all that.
Yeah, antenna. Well, that actually was Christine Northrup. That was her too with the injecting the antennas. That was her.
She makes millions of dollars.
Right.
Christine Northrup makes millions of dollars. It's a lot of Ted Penny makes millions of dollars. The Bollinger family, the wife and husband, makes millions of dollars, and they also got herbal stuff.
Yep, exactly.
There's a ton of other people that makes millions of dollars. Everybody on there has an ulterior motive. Butter's issue is that his wife went against his will and got her son vaccinated.
Yep.
And he had personal issues there. He supposedly had developed autism of some form, and Butter said he nursed him out of that using some type of treatment, and that was an issue. Butter lost his
license.
License. So now he does something differently where that license is not really effective for him. And it is what it is with that.
Yeah.
So ultimately, when you look at this list of people, they're bought and paid for too. And you say how they bought and paid for? They're bought and paid for by the Kennedy Foundation, and his boy,
Big Tree, Dale Big Tree. Yep, Dale Big Tree. Yep. So that, and because I'm saying, because if you go look at a lot of their stuff, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, man, the Ben Tapers, the Christine Northworth, the Kelly Bogans, the Saya Jay, the Irvin Elizabeth, the Butters, RZA, especially RZA Islam. I've seen he's regurgitated.
Their job is to cause and create confusion.
Yeah. So I see them, man. They regurgitating a lot of Robert F. Kennedy's information stuff coming from the Kennedy Foundation, man. But y'all definitely need to go check look some of these guys up that I named, these people that I named, and a lot of these things. Even let me go to one and real quick. It was two of them that was out experimenting on me.
Don't go nowhere else. What's her next question?
No,
All right, go ahead, babe.
I don't have no more questions.
She says she ain't got no more questions. But okay, so we cleared up what's in the vaccine. We told you about the effective rate of getting the vaccine. Moderna 94.1% effective rate. Pfizer 95% effective rate. Johnson & Johnson 66.3 or 66.5. I can't remember. It's 66 something effective rate.
Johnson & Johnson effective rate against the other variants before Delta is actually 84%.
Oh, I seen 66 somewhere on there.
Its infectious rate is 84%.
Okay.
But its infectious rate against Delta is 56%.
Okay.
But Johnson & Johnson's infectious rate before it gets to that 84% is 66% after a certain amount of days. And then maybe a week or two after that, over that period, because it starts low, and in 14 days it increases, in 28 days it increases. By the 45th day of Johnson & Johnson, the efficacy rates was seen as high as 84%, it's a second generation.
Right. So you learn what a first, second, and third generation shot. You know the third generation shot does not put the virus in you. So, and I'm hoping a lot of, just not only my wife is listening, but a lot of other people that are listening that had concerns, some of the same concerns. But and even some of these things like the magnetized thing. I wanted to, my wife and my stepdaughter put a spoon up to my arm, and this come from what was this woman name? Let me see. Her name is Sherry Timpenny. Shirley Tenpenny.
I said Tenpenny name.
Yeah. So yeah, and she's claimed, you know, she's claiming that the mRNA vaccine contains something inside of it that magnetizes you. I mean, and they seen this on TikTok. So anybody that got the vaccine become magnetized.
So your wife watched TikTok?
Right, that's how I know she watched TikTok. But I already know it because I see it, and she'd be laughing and giggling all the time and sending me. I can show you all kind of TikTok videos. She'd get mad when I don't open them up and look at them. And but this is from Shirley Tenpenny. She made that claim. So they actually took a spoon and put it up to my arm and seen was it gonna stick to my arm, man. It fell right on off, man. It fell right on off, man.
Okay, well, I do have a question though. So where do y'all think this come from with the saying of getting the shot and being paralyzed and your lip and your mouth?
That's a good question.
Your mouth twisted to the side and
okay.
And you can't move one side of your body.
Okay, let him speak.
This is about me. These are my questions. I'm trying to get my question out.
Yeah, but you loading it up. Let's deal with one of them at a time. So real quick, Bell's palsy occurs at a higher rate in the general population than it does with people who have nerve damage. That's temporary. Bell's palsy is a temporary effect, and it's usually around like nerval response. Now, Bell's palsy can last for like maybe a day or two in some people, maybe a week, maybe a little bit more than that, or maybe for a couple of hours, and then it wears off. But it does develop in people who actually have some type of nerval issue, and usually that happens with people who similar to the nurse that fainted, who if she look at herself get injected, she'll pass out or fall out like that, and then she'll come right back to. Usually it's very, very, very rare, but it's higher in the general population than it was in any of the COVID vaccinated people. And then as far as the paralyzation, that's even more rare. I forget the exact response to that, but some people have, because it happened to one lady here in Nashville, and I think it happened to a lady, it happened to one teenage person, and then I think it happened to one other person. So out of 180 million administered vaccines at this particular time, only 3 people had developed that. Now the lady in Nashville was slightly paralyzed, and it was for, I think she was like a couple of weeks or something like that. And then after that, she walked out of the hospital on her own strength, and they couldn't really explain it. And that was something that was very rare. And then she turned around and she took somebody else in her family to go get vaccinated. And through her whole process, though, she talked about getting the vaccine because she was very familiar with what COVID could do. I think she may have had somebody die, but I think she also worked in the hospital. She just had one of those responses. So notice we got to be real careful with how we're answering some of this stuff, because I don't want to disrespect people that might not look like me, but we're not really having those occurrences. If you understand what I'm saying.
We're not having those occurrences. And how many people out of what, say that, to get that number again?
3. Yeah, there was 3 instances. There was 2 adults and a teenager. And then you had a teenager develop myocarditis. Well, you had out of Johnson & Johnson, just out of all the vaccines, myocarditis is heart inflammation. You had, let's say, 1,149 people out of 15 million administered vaccinations, only 1,100 people. So that was rare, and everybody was treated and released. However, you had one develop slight myocarditis, but he also, that's what I was telling y'all when we was in Texas, that he was drinking them energy drinks.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? He ended up getting $162,000 off them people, knowing dang on well that he was drinking energy drinks and then powerlifting right after he'd been vaccinated. But that didn't happen in the U.S. He was in Australia somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, man. Yep. So you got anything else? And Brother Lavelle,
she said Bell's palsy, and then she said that, and then it was something else.
Yeah, what was it? Was something
I
else?
just said I seen where a lady, a jaw was twisted.
What about the shivers and shakes?
Lockdown.
You ain't asked me about the lady that was doing the Harlem Shake. She was on TikTok.
I saw that.
Now, that she was putting on because that's been unexplained. It was 2 people actually did it, and one of them was in Indiana. And you know what I'm saying? I think they caught her not having that problem. But then the cameras come on, she had that problem. And she was supposed to be some type of nurse assistant or something like that, but not in the hospital. She was more so along like with the elderly people and stuff like that. So she was part of the frontline people. And they haven't seen that either. See, there's a lot of things that once the vaccine roll out and get to the population, you begin to start seeing certain things. And that's why you have like people trying to use VAERS reporting system to argue against the vaccine data because they assume that VAERS reporting system to be true because people are reporting it. What they don't know is it to substantiate a VAERS reporting you can go in there and look and see there's a lot of misinformation, or not a misinformation, there's a lot of information missing in the VAERS reporting system when you start to go look at who's reporting what. And then you look at the real reports, and then you look at the reports that might just say like the age of a person, the vaccine they took, but then all this other stuff will be incomplete. It's a lot of incomplete reports. So how do you keep track of or do research to confirm incomplete reports? You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, when you get vaccinated, they know who's been vaccinated. And especially if you download the reporting app so that you can, you know, inform them of your symptoms and things of that nature so they can keep track of that, because that stuff that you put in the reporting app, that goes to VAERS. And that's how they monitored all those women who became pregnant during the middle of the during the middle of the trials, and then people after being vaccinated. You know, because life don't stop. But we just have to be truthful about the vaccines, and we just have to be truthful about a lot of the information. This has been the most transparent time of the science's life. And the reason that they had to be so transparent is because of the history of science and the way it has been before, especially dealing with Black people. And so them opening up that door gave people like me an opportunity to be enthusiasts and learn and study more and just understand it from a different perspective, but also be conscious enough to know, like, once upon a time, this wasn't available to us like this. So now, me knowing the other side, the flip side of disagreements and problems with the healthcare system and certain events that has transpired, like, what's it, Ledbetter and Tuskegee and all of those things, when you're dealing with that, you got to understand how did it arrive or get to that particular point. So you deal with it with all the information. You just don't deal with it based on emotions. And Black people, and this is the reason why they say Black people are so emotionally driven. So you have these anti-vaccine movements that want to include us in their movements, and they play on our emotions. And when they play on our emotions, they bring out our ignorance, and that becomes a problem for us. And then we get stuck. While all the while, they go and tell us, when we ask them the simple question, if not a vaccine, then what? They tell us we'll just go get infected.
Wow. So that's their.
But that's what Dale Bigtree told up when they debated. He said that he would take his kids to Samoa and introduce them to measles. Now, when you go look at, and when show you the picture of the people who got measles, he shows you the son who got vaccinated. I mean, the brother who got vaccinated and the brother who didn't. The brother who didn't, whole skin looked like chicken pox, face, hands solely covered, sores, scarred up to death, swollen up, spots. It looked like his skin cells was just risen all over his body with black dots in the middle of it. Like, if that's what measles does and it's painful, I don't want that, man. Give me the vaccine, bro. I'm not finna go through that. We've been getting vaccinated. We never really had a problem with vaccinations. And yeah, our parents got us vaccinated when we were kids. That's true. And we had no say. That's true. But the moral of the story is that we were vaccinated and we got the protection. And the reason that we haven't fell off the face of this earth is because we've got protection against these viruses. And we understood that. We never really had no problem with that. So when somebody says the Most High is going to protect you, that could be the most ignorant thing that you could say, because pastors, preachers, and even members, like members of the ISUPK and other Hebrew Israelite sects, have gotten vaccinated. So these little one-off things where people say, well, I'm going to take my chances with that. Well, you gamble with your life, brother. But what you're not going to do is gamble with my life, my grandmama life, my great-aunt life, my auntie's life, my mama's life, anybody in my family's life, or anybody that's in my friends' lives. Because I'm not saying that you're not responsible, but I am just a little bit more responsible enough of an adult to make sure that I'm doing what's right by my community, my family, and my friends, to make sure that we have the correct information. And if this is for us. Now, I'm going to put it to you like this. If it wasn't for us, I would tell you it wasn't for us. And I know you're thinking, Sean, how so? Because I ain't had a vaccine since I was a teenager. I need y'all to understand this. I haven't had a vaccine since I was a teenager. When Siobhan went to go get my kids the flu vaccine, she'll tell you that I was against them getting a flu vaccine 5 years ago. But what I had to do was I had to get myself out of that space that I had just put myself in and be honest and say, man, I've been vaccinated. I had chickenpox. That was the only vaccine I didn't get. I had chickenpox. That was a horrible experience. I had to be honest. And then I had to take the same approach with vaccine science that I did with every other level and instance of things. And that's how I got to the point to where I am today. It was a process. And all I tried to do was shorten the process for other people and show them the expert information. And hopefully for the people who already pre-ordered what SARS-CoV-2, what I learned from SARS-CoV-2, you'll see
this, you'll understand this. I have shortened the learning curve. I didn't make it. We're not going to make up the whole gap, but I shortened the learning curve to help y'all understand what's going on today.
Wow. Yeah, man. I've been sitting here holding his phone and I forgot all I had to do was turn the volume up in my machine and it'll come straight through my darn machine. I had the volume down and had you on the speakerphone instead of hitting Rodecaster Pro for it to come through the darn machine. Man, that's crazy. I've been holding it for that long. I know better now. I'm learning. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, Sean, man, for
hold on.
She said she got one more thing. Yeah, she got one more thing.
Hold on. Before you do that, let me just deal with this. All right, Miss Trimmer, love you, sweetheart, but a lot of the information is dead incorrect. What's going on in Wuhan right now, they vaccinating billions of people right now. So I don't know what you mean about what's going on in Wuhan. But as far as some of the things that you have been saying, I just been sitting here and I've been watching it. It's very off base, it's very off topic, and it's not scientifically entrenched in anything. China is leading the world in vaccination. They have over 1 billion people vaccinated. Okay? Now, this is the epicenter of where this emerged from. And they have 1 billion people vaccinated. And they're still wearing masks. And they're even doing other vaccines. They use their own vaccines, found out that their vaccines weren't as infectious as they thought it would be. So they're using other vaccines to compensate that and are still vaccinating at higher rates. So the whole notion of what is China's vaccinating their people. They don't have this whole anti-vaccine thing is a UK problem and a US problem.
Mm-hmm.
Africa ain't got this problem. India ain't got this problem. Other parts of Europe don't. The Japanese, the Koreans, the Australians, these other places, countries, they ain't got these problems. This is strictly a UK and US issue. Because y'all feel, well, I don't know why we feel like that, but people feel like their privilege is being taken away. How? Do you want to live or do you want to die? Are you ready to die? At the end of the day, it comes down to that. Are you looking to extend your life, or are you at a place in your life where you're ready to die and you're ready to transition and it is what it is? But go ahead. What was your next question?
What was it? She found that was something else, baby.
It was just
It's so they can hear you on the mic.
It's funny, but I just wanted to know when we was in Texas and you said something about I could be in a store and I could hear somebody sneeze or cough, and ever since that I've been thinking about you. What he said about how long it takes for the virus to get in you. What you was saying, Sean?
Oh yeah. Now I think I'm breaking up because I just heard you, but you was breaking up a little bit. But hopefully can people still hear me?
Repeat it, because I need you to get up to the mic so you can hear.
I've been sitting here like this the whole time.
Okay, now we can hear you.
I heard her, Coach.
Yeah, we can hear you good. Now I'm telling her she don't listen to me, man. She just ain't gonna listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't never know what I'm talking
But
about.
I'm saying I've been sitting here.
You're talking about. You don't.
Anyway, Sean.
How you gonna take her side, man?
Thank you, Sean.
It take you 40. It takes the Delta variant takes 45 minutes for you to contract the infection in a closed setting. So meaning if you're at a restaurant, someone in a restaurant coughs or sneezes, and you're in that restaurant long enough to where you're not protecting your nose, eyes, or other parts of your body where you could be infected with the virus, it's going to affect you. The infectious rate is 45 minutes with Delta.
Mm-hmm.
With Alpha, it's about an hour and a half. It takes about an hour and a half to infect someone. So that's enough time for you to be in a setting like Walmart, come out of the setting and get gone and never contract. So the spread of the infection is the time of the spread of the infection is less in other variants than it is with Delta. You know, when you're at a restaurant, you're in there for at least an hour. Mm-hmm. If you go to a club, you're in a club at least a couple of hours. If you at a bar, it's the same thing. Like, you're not in and out of those places. You know, I done been in the house now. I'm just gonna tell people this. I don't like using anecdotal arguments to make a position, but I was in a house where two people, well, really one person had COVID. COVID was transmitted to his spouse. This brother used my cell phone to talk to Monica about CMOS. I never had anything. And I was in his house and I was closer to him at that point of time, because 2 days later, they was like, man, this dude got COVID. I ain't have no breakthrough infection, but his wife had contracted it. And I was near him more than 45 minutes. But we were outside most of the time. But when we were in the house, she was just in the house with him, of course, his wife. They were just in the house and she had it. So both of them had COVID. But she had an asymptomatic response and she had some illnesses and things like that she dealt with. However, you know, they both had their little situations and they went through it, you know, but it was kind of a scare for them because they don't really want to deal with that, and they had to take off work and all of that because they couldn't really perform their job, and then they had to protect their child. And it's those things, like, this is a public health crisis. This is not a pro-choice situation. If this was a thing that came down to if this came down to like pregnancy or like you decide if you want to have a baby or not, yeah, that's your personal business. But this has something to do with everybody. So it's your household, your neighbors, the people down the street from you, the people at the stores you shop at, the people at the beauty shops you go to, the people at the school systems your children attend the schools at. This is everybody. This ain't no longer about you, the individual. This is about everyone. Like, we can't come visit you as it is. Like, we can't just up and just pop up on people like we used to.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know where half these people been at. Now, y'all know about me because y'all done been around me the whole weekend, and everywhere we went, I had my mask out. I'm vaccinated with my 2 masks on.
Double mask up.
Yeah. We keep our masks on.
mask
We do the
up.
same thing. I don't wear no double masks. I barely can breathe out them black masks I get. They got that thick cotton in the inside of it. I already can barely breathe with one of them on. I put 2 of them on, man. Y'all gonna take me to, I'm gonna go to the hospital. I can't breathe. I barely can breathe and them things, man. But I make sure I have mom. I do what you say, Doc. I catch myself saying the same thing that you saying. Now, what's going on? I catch myself saying the same thing you saying is I gotta protect my Moderna. I hated the day though. I ended up, I ain't gonna lie though. I ended up going to I went to the post office to deliver some books today and rushing my wife, and I forgot the books, but I had to go to the store because to AutoZone because I needed some windshield wiper fluid because it was low in my car. So I got out and have it, but I stay in the country. So I said, man, I'm gonna just have to go up in here, man. I can't protect the Moderna today, man. I'm finna run in here and run out of here with no mask. But normally I have masks or have a box of the disposable masks in my car, but I ran out of it. But for the most part, I do the same thing. I try to protect my Moderna, man. Well, man, I appreciate it, man. I hope, we went through a whole lot. I hope she got some more understanding about some things. I hope some people out there too that may be listening with their significant other, listen to with their families that's hesitant about getting the vaccine.
You got to ride around with them now, Kofi. That's just like air freshener.
Yeah, I know it, man. Like I said, I normally have a box in them, man, but I ran out of them, and then I normally have some gloves, but I stopped.
No problem. I'm gonna hang up there since I dominated the call.
Yeah, no, you good. But I'm glad you called. You called in, man. I wanted to get some more people in here, but we've been on here long enough, man. And we gonna start doing this a lot, man. I don't know if with my wife, but just having conversations, and maybe we can get people to call in to the show, and and we can chop it up and have real live conversations with people over the phone, since we able to do that now, man. But again, man, I appreciate you, man, for calling in again, man. I appreciate the work, man, and I got my package today. I don't even know what I did with it, but I got mine today, man. Hopefully you'll get yours tomorrow, man. But I guess he's hung up. Okay, well, y'all give a round of applause, man, for Sean. Give it up for Sean. Sean came and dropped the file, man. He like I said, he can articulate himself a little bit better. And he was stressing some of the same points I was stressing to my wife, but sometimes it hit better when they hear it from somebody, they hear it from somebody else. So hopefully she got a lot of stuff that she was confused about or leery about. She has a better understanding about that, because I want to see my wife still here, man. But yeah, give another round of applause for Brother Sean. Yeah, that's my brother, man. That's my brother, man. Moderna gang. So like like I said, man, I just hope this conversation was able to help my wife, not only help my wife, but help a few other people that said that it was going to tune in with their significant other or family member to watch the show because they was hesitant. They had some concerns that needed to be answered. So hopefully they was able to get some of their concerns answered through through the show. Like I said, I hope, we're not trying to force anybody to go get vaccinated. We're just trying to give you some information, give you, and, direct you to the information, and give you an understanding of how scientific methodology actually works. So when people talk to you, actually can go and look at the data. Like a lot of these people talking about herbs. When you ask them, where is the data? Where's the clinical trials that they did for these data? Like you got people saying that they can they cure, their herbs are actually curing COVID-19, which is some misinformation. And it was something else that was posted, something dealing with a Kemetic shrine that's actually saying something about their combating COVID with some type of water. So that's just crazy, man. People are actually putting out misinformation. I'm talking about some dangerous information. I forgot what it was. It's some type of Kemetic shrine talking about water. I'm like, what? Water. So you got water. Now you got people saying that they curing COVID with herbs and et cetera, man. So we just have to be careful with the information. We have to understand how these people are actually coming up with their conclusion. We need to ask for them to prove it by showing the data, showing the process that they went through, the clinical trials, and so forth, man. Let me do this real quick. Let me go back. Again, I just got to keep promote. Please go get that Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo. Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo, a book that I put out back in June. It's been out for about three and a half months. I appreciate the people that supporting the book. I'm still getting sales from the book. I actually had to ship some books out today, but didn't make it today. My wife was rushing me, and that was too funny. And went way downtown with no books. You was no package. Me. How was I rushing you? It was her fault. No. So the people that I said I was going to ship your books out today, don't blame me, blame my wife. It's her fault. But yeah, go get Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo. Appreciate the people that still reading the book. And once you get the book and you read it, please give me some feedback on the book. Please give me. A few people already reached out to me in the past, read the book from front to cover, and I have got some great reviews. Got one guy in particular that I respect his critique more than anybody is Benjamin Njai, man. He read the book from front to back, man. He gave me some good, some good advice, man, and nothing bad to say about the book. A few critiques on a few things, but just some small minor issues. And when we put out that expanded version, he also will be on a dedicated forward as well as Asar Imhotep. So be looking out for the Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo, the expanded version, which will be out sometimes in December if I can get around to finish it. I'm adding 4 more chapters, which will make it a 14 chapter book. Is already a 10 chapter book. So go get that on Sanctuary Different Branch Publishing. That's our publishing company. Also go get the latest book by the collective, us, me, brother Sean, who was on the call today, brother Sutek, who's in the chat right now, T'Challa Bangara, Satepara Mariaman, and a new member, Chavis Tep Hesed McCray. I love the name Tep Hesed. That means correct method. So yeah, go get Spearmaster, Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 4. This is our fourth installment. You can actually buy all of those installments on Sanctuary Different Branch Publishing. You don't have to go to KofiPiesie.tv.com to just get the books we published last year. We got the books we published this year that we published on our publishing company, and the books that we put out last year. And last not least, go pre-order your copy of What SARS-CoV Taught Me, which is a book written by Sean, who is a member of Kofi Piesie research team, as well as a member of the Mossi warrior clan, as a member of the Seshuma Ani Metanetra. I'm also a part of those three great groups as well, man. I'm telling you, this is also a great book, man, and give you some understanding. If you're confused about some things, man, he breaks down viruses, what is viruses. He breaks down the immune system. I mean, he just breaks down so many different things in that book. He got some bonus chapters. In each chapter, he has answering questions, something that we're going to be coming out pretty soon with our Spearmasters composition book, where we're trying to get more people to comprehend what they're actually reading, man. So this is a great book as well, man. Also, man, like I said, this is let me see if I can pull this up. New Independent African Academy. Go get your shirts, man. They're available, man, on our apparel company. Our online apparel company, New Independent African Academy. For people that may not know what New Independent African Academy is, we actually took the Independent African Academy that came out in the 20th century. We took it and we just rebringing it back, but we call it the New Independent African Academy. And it's an academy that brung through people like John Henry Cogg, Aisha Hilliard, John G. Jackson, Dr. Ben, so many, and the list goes on, man. And we bring it that standard back from the Independent African Academy and the American Negro Academy during the 20th century. So please go get your New Independent African shirts if you rock with the New Independent. And let me show my shirt real quick that I got on, man. I never wore it. I actually forgot I got so many shirts. Let me see if I can go to this camera and see if y'all can see it. If y'all can see here, this is my Thomas Sankara shirt. I can't even see that right now, but I forgot the quote, man. It's a dope quote on here. You also can get this on Saintry Different Branch. Not Saintry Different Branch, but Mboka Family Connect apparel. That is, I am Thomas. That's the Thomas Sankara shirts, man. Dang, let me go back to this other camera. All right. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in, man. I appreciate the people that tune in the whole duration, man. I appreciate the moderators in the chat, man. Appreciate you, Sister Nisha. Appreciate you, Sutek Akandi Uyani Olawai. Also appreciate Sean, even though Sean was mostly over here with us, and Sister Benita. I hope, Sister Benita, if you still on here, I hope you feeling better, because I know yesterday you was in the hospital. She's also a moderator on here, sister. So I hope that you feeling better today, and I hope you wasn't in there for COVID. I know you. I think she's vaccinated, if I'm not mistaken, man. But oh yeah, we also, man, Sean said Moderna gang in the chat. I got the Moderna gang. I mean, you can also go to our website, again, that is Family Connect Apparel. You can type in MBOKA, Mboka, which is a Wolof word that you hear us use all the time, which is also a part of our brand. And also you see that logo inside, Saintry Different Branch. You see a branch with limbs that has the Kofi Piesie research team logo, the Mossi warrior clan logo, and the Mboka logo inside of the tree limbs. That is our brand. That we are family, and that word means family as well. So you can go to that website and get the Moderna shirts. We got some dope Moderna gang shirts, and we got some dope Pfizer. I don't know if it's Pfizer gang or it's something gang. You already, hold on, baby, before we wrap up, I want you to say something to the people before you leave. But I want my wife to say something, man, before she get off here. I might not never get her back on here again. She said she was gonna do the show with me, and then had some resistance, some hesitancy when we got ready to do the show, man. She got frustrated, but I appreciate she coming on and having this conversation. And seeing some of the foolishness that was going on in the chat in the beginning. See, that's bad. This is New Independent African Academy, man. We ain't got no business, man, with the riffraff, and we left that other community, man, to come over here, man. We don't got trash over here. We ain't got trash on the streets. We ain't got mattresses stacked up outside in the front yard. We ain't got broke down cars outside in the backyard of the house. We ain't got grass that is damn near waist high. We ain't got shotgun houses over here with the windows was busted out of it over here, man. This is a good community, man. Everybody taking care of everybody. When somebody else need to be lifted up, we over here and we lifting them up. If somebody need a hand, we over here giving them a hand, man. If we over here and somebody need to make some bread, we showing them how to make some bread, man. They need whatever they need, man. We just over here to help each other over here, the new Independent African Academy over here, this new community over here that has structure, that has codes of conducts, that has goals that I guarantee that we're going to facilitate and that we're going to accomplish, and we already to start accomplishing already, man. But why you got something else you want to say to the people, man, before we end this stream? Nisha said, appreciate you, Miss Nanyamika. And Nanyamika, by the way, means what Nanyamika means, baby?
I don't mind putting the person in their place.
That ain't,
it means
she mean too.
Nanyamiko means patience. It's an African name. It means patience.
It means patience. That's her real name, but she doesn't have any type of patience.
No patience whatsoever.
No patience none whatsoever. So they named her the wrong thing. They should have, whatever. I need to find out what a word in Wolof. I got my Wolof book back here. I got 2 Wolof books back here. I've been learning Wolof ever since we got this partnership over there in Gambia with Sister Fatu, and I'm gonna have to learn a Wolof name that means headache. If anybody can help me out, what it is, or even any African language that means headache, I need to find out what headache means. We're gonna rename her the headache, a beautiful headache. That's what I call a beautiful headache, because that mug makes my head hurt all the time. But I love it, man. But you got something else you want to say to the people, man, before we get out of here, baby?
I enjoyed y'all. I really enjoyed y'all, and thank y'all for listening to me and my crazy questions and stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, they weren't crazy. I mean, a lot of people, those are, legitimate gripes and concerns. So, it wasn't crazy, man. So she got a real African. Yeah, but it don't fit her, man. Like it don't, what should have happened was, Sutek, was when you, in African traditions, like, we just don't name our kids like, Concrete. You name your baby Concrete. What the hell? Concrete, you name your baby Mercedes after a car or something. But in African traditions, when a baby is born, I talk about that in the beautiful lessons about Kimoyo. I talk about the rites of passages. I talk about those different rites. So I talk about how long it takes that actually a baby does not even exist. You do not exist until you get a name. And for a certain period of time, the baby goes without a name, and then it gets named. A certain period of time, a boy goes, and then he gets his name, and the name is actually attached to his destiny. Some people get 7 or 8 different names, so you will meet somebody who actually has 7 or different names that actually mean 7 or 8 different things. I also talk about that in the book. But as they also named them, they also groomed them as a young person to actually, facilitate what that name actually means. So they should have, my mother-in-law should have been teaching her what patience looked like, because like I said, patience runs away from her, and her name is Patience Nanyamiko. But yeah, but again, man, I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in, man, to the show. We're going to continue to try to bring some content to the channel, so you'll probably see me a little bit more instead of just one show on Sundays. I might start doing 2 shows like I did last week. I'm gonna start bringing more interviews all this month. Hopefully I'll be interviewing everyone from the Ra Squad. If you didn't look at the video with Jonathan Owens, aka Smash Rockwells, who we refer to as the Magi, who's a member of the Ra Squad, who's a pioneer in hip hop, who's a member of the legendary group Hieroglyphics. Go check that video out, because we talked about music before we got into the scholastic stuff, and a lot of people don't ask him about his music and when he was signed to Jive and his first album and the numerous albums that he put out and the hieroglyphics and how they form. So go check that out. Then we get into the scholastic stuff. After that, I also interviewed brother Sheffrin L from the Pseudo Killers, man. So we had a something that I messed up with, because like I said, I got like a lot of stuff over here, a lot of equipment. So I'm trying to bring that quality stuff, man. So I set everything up the other day, actually finished We gonna get him. He's actually next. We'll be interviewing Wu Zhao this Sunday at I think 3 p.m. I got to get back with him, but he already confirmed. So everyone from the Ra squad, I will be interviewing this month. So and like I said, but go check out Sheffrin L's interview I did with him, man. It was a dope interview. That brother actually humbled myself, man, and changed my perspective on a few things when it dealing with religion, when it comes to supporting your own family, man, with certain things, man. So shout out to Sheffrin L, man. He don't know what he did with me with that interview with him sharing that, man, but go check out that video, man, and then share this video, man, with people, man, that may appreciate this information, this conversation that we had with my wife today, man. Like I said, we're gonna continue to bring content. Hopefully I can be able to bring people where we got people live on the scene with me, and I'm able to interact with them now that I got the stuff that I need to do what I need to do, and for it to look the way it look, and for it to sound the way that it sound, and be able to capture different shots and moves like with these cameras and stuff that I got, man. And I definitely, man, I greatly appreciate y'all, man. I will be back Sunday, man, with an interview with Wu Zhao. And I may come back and do something else later on that day. And then I'll come back Monday, I'll be doing something with LaDosha Wright and somebody else. We'll be talking about the importance of it's something dealing with hair. I can't remember exactly what it's all, but that's another chapter that's going to be an expanded version where I'm talking about African hair, how African hair is identified, and then getting up under the misconception of if your hair ain't kinky, then you ain't black. So I'm gonna show you curly hair in the Sudan, straight hair also in West Africa when we talk about these textures, because we're not being scientific when we saying black people only got kinky hair. Black people have all styles of texture. So we'll probably be talking about that as well on Monday with Sister LaDosha and I think one of her business partners, and talk about her up and coming event, man. And again, for people out there, man, I want to showcase a lot of the music, because I'm a hip hop egg. Send me some music, man, so I can play your music, man, on the show, man. Send me your MP3 file, man, where I can actually share it. I've been playing Fortune music all the last 3 shows I did. I'm going to play another brother who actually sent me a video that he actually did a video for my presentations that I did on the who, the what, and the why of African traditions. I did like a 4-part, and the brother did a whole song, man, and it's a dope song. I really never did nothing with it, so I'm gonna preview that next week. But if you got some music, man, send me your music, man, and let me premiere the music on here, man, and play the music, man, especially if it's positive, man. Yeah, man. So in a lot of things, man, we just finna change up, man, on this YouTube channel, man, and do like a lot of different things, man, that we want to do. And also we'll be as I learn, we all learn. Podcast is coming soon. Supposed to came out in August, but man, business is picked up over here, man. So it's been quite busy. So be on the lookout for that. I got a nice platform that we're gonna put as I learn, we all learn podcasts on there. Maybe in the next week or so. Also, be looking forward. I'm actually gonna do some more research on the night. We talked about it. We gonna do a raffle. I may do a raffle. It may be like $3 or $4, and within that raffle, you maybe can win the volume 1 through 4, or you may be able to actually win Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo. That's what I do. Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo, Spear Masters, a historical survey in the minds of African warrior scholars, volume 4, and Sean's new book, what SARS-CoV-2 taught me. So there'll be 3 books that we'll raffle out. Those are 3 books that has come out within the last 4 months, and we got other tons of books that are actually coming out. And I'm excited about 2 clients that we have that will be releasing that has nothing to do with us, not a part of the team, not a part of our circle, but these are some people that trusted in us and wanted us to publish their books. And one will be released at the end of November, and another one will be released by this sister in January. So you will see 2 publications that's coming outside of the group, man. So appreciate it again. If you need any business logos, you need some flyers done, you need posters, you need business cards done, you need designs, because I also designed this for the shirt, my shirt that I got on, all the stuff on there. I definitely almost designed just about everything on there. So if you need any of that done, just holler at us, hit us info@KofiPiesie.tv.com, or just Facebook any other Kofi Piesie members or the Mossi Warrior Clan members messenger, and it'll get to us, man, and we'll be able to, do some good business, some black business with y'all, man. Again, appreciate y'all. I said I said ETM. I do it every time. I said ETM Hotep in the beginning. ETM Hotep means bring forth peace. So now I want to say Shimim Hotep. Shimim Hotep just means to depart in peace. Peace and Black African power. I'm gonna leave y'all with Fortune Believe songs again. If you got some music, man, check, send me some of that music, man, so I can play. But this is by Fortune Believes. This is called Foolish, man, and I'll see y'all, man, when I see y'all.
Yeah. It's so real. So real. Yeah. I'm subhuman. What kind of woman wanna love a mutant? Resort to me after these thugs use them. My bedroom is a strange ruin. Last time I hit a chick was King Drive, and she ain't done suing. I'm done doing wasted years, I'm ruined. I attempt to shoot and score, but it's my destiny to be a troubadour. A true abhor, I'm like a Labrador. Retriever receiving the red flag matador. I'm mad at the world. I once portrayed I was a savage to bedazzle a girl. Stiletto heels and sew-ins, I would lavish her. Told me I was off trying to romance her, I should ravish her. World around, left me for real niggas, the word around. World renowned, what mirrors reveal, I admit. I'll always be a coward and I ain't worth shit. Roses I read, the double Glock between my eyes blue. It's imminent, I'm too fucking effeminate, I'm a fool.
I've always put my pride aside, I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise, I simply play it cool. I'm foolish, I'm foolish, yeah.
I'm so self-conscious with no self-conscious. It's times I went too far and I got some mental scarring. I had this melanated girl but hesitated to be thorough. My time went in the rounds, I'm trying to elevate the world. Mutual attraction but lacking physically in figure. Contrast to the ass being the famous rapper. Get you is brewing, other women alluring. And now the more we sex you feel neglected. Our connections getting ruined. You would fight for my love while I chase bitches that don't love me. You even cook for me but she got a better look for me. You spend your racks up on me. Hit niggas with the ratchet for me just for us to be in matrimony. But friend zone it the brother who would love to serve you, cause I never deserved you. So neither us is using virtue. Can't you see we in a circle? Each of us are cruel. For them I'm a fool. For me you a fool. Betty asking too.
I've always put my pride aside, I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise, I simply play it cool. I'm foolish, I'm foolish, yeah.
My troubled ass browsing, subsidized housing. This bubbled ad lousing shit to leave your ag gouging. I'd rather be fad doused than hear these verbal roundhouses. Y'all raising your mouths loud. Can't you see your child's rousing? My liquor pot lounging. He should bestow my masculinity. Inept ass slept and crept disaster enemies. Look at myself doubting all these passive tendencies. I had passive piety, but cash is deity. Niggas went from dope sack selling to cul-de-sac dwelling. I kept the 9 to 5, wept and wham, but why? My stomach large and my face hardened. Gone is my hopes. Spent 4 years on car notes, my wage garnished. I still keep feeling like I ain't shit. Even if I had a fucking facelift, it's self-hatred. To eat a 9mm told me to pill a hater. To kill the day to live like told me Philippator.
I've always put my pride aside, I've always told the truth. I'm stubborn, I don't compromise, I simply play it cool. I'm foolish, I'm foolish, yeah.
Cause I'm